2022. You're checking in with Sportstime on Sports56 with Gabe and Stats. We're always live from the Family Leisure Studios in Memphis, Tennessee, where family and fun come together. I am former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn on Twitter at G_Kuhn71. Producing the program on the ones and twos is our man Bryant Dacus on Twitter at Bryant_Dacus. Bryant, what's happening?
Oh, nothing much. We had a fun draft last night, but I'm really excited to get to what's important today.
Okay.
2023 mock drafts.
Okay,
Victor
nice.
Wembanyama, number 1.
There you go.
Scoot Henderson, number 2. So I know we're going to talk a lot about that, so I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. And by the way, was it a fun draft in your opinion? Did you really enjoy
it was a
the
fun draft. A lot of names got taken, 58 names to be exact.
Yes, nice.
And then I made some money off the first round,
Oh.
so it was a fantastic night.
There you go. You didn't have Paolo, did you?
No, I had our boy Patrick Baldwin going in the first round,
Good
plus
call.
250.
Good call. Goes to the Golden State Warriors. And my partner does pre and post for the Ole Miss Football Radio Network. He is Brett Stats Norsworthy on Twitter at Brett Norsworthy. Brett, what's happening?
Good afternoon, Gabe. Great to be with y'all. If people out there listening ever wanted to play golf, dreamed of playing golf like Rory McIlroy, well, for a hole today, you can. He was on 59 watch and then made an 8 on a
Shout
par
out!
4.
Hey, by the way, did you see the runaway golf cart at the Travelers?
Those are dangerous.
Did you see it?
I've been around them.
The runaway golf cart went straight into
It
a
sticks.
water hazard.
Uh-huh.
It went into a pond.
Uh-huh.
And it looked like there was a ball
The accelerator
spotter.
stuck.
There was a ball spotter or like
Look out.
one of the workers out there that was about to jump in the way, then made a business decision last second. A good business decision. Wasn't worth it. Yeah,
Let it go.
That thing's gone.
Yeah, I've seen when that people thought it was in forward, it was in reverse, and slam it. I've seen some weird stuff with golf carts. They're very dangerous to people that aren't familiar with driving because they handle so tightly, they turn very quickly. I saw a young lady driving a golf cart with another girl in it, following their guys at a tournament, and she turned real fast, threw the passenger out.
Yeah, Alex, and you know what? When we bring on Alex next week, we're gonna have to talk. He had a compound fracture in his wrist because of something like that. Very tight turn radius, fell out of it, and broke his wrist.
Yes, I saw a guy two different occasions. I've seen someone run over by him, and there's not a lot of clearance.
Yeah. Speaking of the Travelers Championship, though, my golfers, my guys this week struggle. It's a real struggle.
Struggle bus.
Yeah, both over par right now.
Cameron Tringale's playing great today. I don't know if you've seen today's scores.
I saw him at 2 over. He was 2 over for the tournament through 3 today. I haven't seen him since.
Yeah, Joaquin Neiman's already missed the cut, and Jordan Spieth has already missed the cut.
That's something. But yeah, my guys, not a good week for me. I don't know if I'll make any money. We'll see.
Gabe, I enjoyed last night, and I texted you during it. I thought Kendrick Perkins was must listen to. He showed the full. He went through 1 through 14 golf clubs in if it was a golf bag. He hit everything. I thought flush, and I thought he was set up last night to really shine for this reason. He got to talk without having to scream and holler on Get Up or First Take or Last Take or Hot Take TV, and showed how smart he is, how clever he is, and how entertaining he is.
I love Perk. He moves the needle. He's honestly, when we look over the past 2 years since he's really been at ESPN and some of the discussion points he's brought up, his discussion points get talked about. They are very thought-provoking, and I think he does a good job. And other people disagree with that.
I think he's one of the smartest people I've ever listened to.
And other people will disagree with that. Other people try to sort of put him down. They'll mispronounce names here and there, and they'll use it against him. But Perk, I think, does a fantastic job. Now, on the other hand, last night during the broadcast, I all of the movement that was happening sort of mid-first round with the Knicks and then the Grizzlies traded up, I thought that was confusing. It didn't get announced till after the picks, and I always hate the NBA draft and the NBA for having the league year start after the draft. So now you have to see someone come across the stage with the wrong hat on. It's just so hard to follow sometimes. And I thought last night was very, very hard to follow.
it was hard to connect the dots, and that's for us trying to pay attention to it and very, very interested in it. I think I know where all the dots ended up. But you're right.
Yeah.
It was a jigsaw puzzle wrapped in an enigma last night, and a little tough to sort out. Thought Malika Andrews was terrific as well, but loved Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins was so good last night, I even listened to Jay Billis.
That's rare for you. By the way, speaking of the wrong hats, Walker Kessler walked across the stage in a Grizzlies hat.
Oh,
did that hurt you?
You got to do me like that.
Did that hurt?
It was my Camelot brief shining moment. Walker Kessler with my team for just a
then
fraction
when
of a
they
second.
announce that it's going to someone else, you have to play "My Heart Will Go On," the Titanic song, to get yourself back ready. I mean,
it was
sorry.
rugged.
I'm sorry.
I'll always have that moment. It was what, minute and a half,
if that.
Yeah. Well.
I thought of you immediately. I sent my prayer. I texted you too, and I said, my prayers go out to you.
Thoughts and prayers, baby. Shout out.
Exactly.
I appreciate it. This baseball season turned K's into cash at FanDuel and big hits into big wins with FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can step up to the plate with a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Just sign up using promo code CASH. Place that first bet, and FanDuel will give you up to $1,000 back in free bets. Great promotions every single day. Safe and secure app, and you get paid fast. Tonight, Tommy Edman, just to get a hint, Shohei Ohtani to go yard, home run for Shohei, and Kyle Hendricks to go over the strikeout total against the Cardinals, Cubbies and Cardinals in Busch Stadium. There's no better place to bet America's pastime than on America's #1 sports book, and that's FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code CASH to get started with your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued is not withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Now, as far as the show is concerned today, first off, our show brought to you by Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in Memphis. Have a bunch of NBA draft to get to, College World Series discussion as the final is set. Ole Miss going for their first College World Series title against Oklahoma. That will start tomorrow at 6 p.m. Also, we have a Manning commitment, Arch to Texas, that we'll have to discuss during the show. As far as our guests are concerned, 3:30, Alan Bell joins us from CBS Sports on some wagering. 4 o'clock, same thing from Bruce Marshall, as well as a usual thought-provoking conversation. Bruce Marshall's from the Gold Sheet. 4:30, bring on Brad Logan to talk about Ole Miss in Omaha. 5 o'clock, Jason Munns joins us from the Commercial Appeal on the Tigers basketball beat. And we have some Tigers to talk about. Lester Quinones signs a two-way with the Golden State Warriors. You have Jalen Duren getting drafted at number 13. Minot at number 45. We'll discuss that in the Tigers basketball offseason. We get out with Taco Bell Crunch Time at 5:45. AutoZone listen line, 901-360-8255. Get in the zone, AutoZone. You can also message us on our social, Sports56, WHBQ, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and go to our website, sports56whbq.com. Our man Peter Edmiston texting me right now. Not a Perk fan. Not a Perk fan. I will say that right now. But, hey, he's not the only one. He's not the only one. I don't know why. I feel like Kendrick Perkins gets a whole lot of shade thrown his way in the grand scheme of these things. And I feel like since he's been there, and maybe the NBA draft, not his shining moment, but I think since he's been at ESPN, he's done a fantastic job.
I thought he was terrific last night.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Now, I guess we'll start with how it all shook out. Paolo Banchero goes number 1 to the Magic. Shout out Mike Miller, by the way. Mike Miller, his agent, in the room. And Mike won that one. We'll say that. And Paolo Banchero 2 weeks ago, plus 1,800 to go number 1 overall. By the time it all shook out last night, he was minus 130. So the Magic get their guy at number 1, Paolo Banchero. Chet Holmgren, number 2 to the Thunder. Jabari Smith, number 3 to the Rockets. Rockets got to sit there and sort of get the guy that I think everyone thought was the most talented in the draft. Now, I will say this. There were some interesting – with Jabari Smith, I get so tired of NBA comparisons on draft broadcasts because Kevin Durant came up with Jabari Smith. Can we stop doing that? Can we stop comparing guys to
we
Kevin
almost
Durant,
have to do
LeBron
that.
James? Just stop it.
Yeah, we almost have to do that. I'm with you. I wish we wouldn't put that on them so quickly, but we do that. And when we get to Arch Manning, he's going to have that with him with his career at Texas, even in his first year. There's always a lot put on people. But wasn't last night really a night of kind of 3 number 1 picks?
Yeah, it could have gone either way, I think, to a certain extent. I mean,
time would tell on all this, like
it's weird because, like,
tells.
a week ago, Paolo Banchero was probably the least likely guy. We were talking about Jabari and Chet. And I think Paolo Banchero, when you look at the skill set that he showed in his 1 year at Duke, I think he's right there, up there with those guys, if not sort of surpassed, considering how much he does do. But I sort of see your thought there. Number 4 to the Kings, Keegan Murray instead of Jaden Ivey. So that was
after Jaden Ivey just simply told him, "Do not draft me."
That was something, though. Keegan Murray to the Kings. Kings draft history is a little shaky, to say the least.
Usually, if a team wants a player bad enough, even if he doesn't come work out, kick sand in their face, I don't want to go there. Where else are you going?
I love Keegan Murray to death. I think he's a really good player.
But Sacramento heard Ivy loud and clear.
But also, Jaden Ivey's the better player. And then Jaden Ivey goes number 5 to the Pistons. We'll talk about it in a second. Pistons had a really good draft. And the moment with Neil Ivey, former obviously the coach at Notre Dame, and then the former Grizzlies
pictures
assistant.
of him as a baby with her, just precious.
It was fantastic. That was fantastic stuff. Now, for the Grizzlies, all I can say is they stick to their plan. No one else's. Post-NBA draft grades, which I always hate. They're stupid. They don't matter. Pre-draft fits don't matter to them. Discussions the week of the draft about who will fit with this Grizzlies team don't matter. They locate their guys, and they don't care about the reaction. 4 guys last night, and way off the board. Jake LaRavia at 19, David Roddy at 23 from Colorado State. They traded DeAnthony Melton to the 76ers. They ended up getting David Roddy and Danny Green out of that deal. 38, they get Kennedy Chandler. That was the one guy that I thought could be sort of in the plans for the Grizzlies. And then they go get Vince Williams Jr. from VCU at 47. Grizz night looks bad on paper, but it was unpredictable, and that's what we've sort of come to understand and know about this Grizzlies front office led by Zach Kleiman.
I can't wait to hear somebody say they had Jake LaRavia going to the Grizzlies.
Not a single soul. And it's hilarious, too.
Not a human on earth.
I was at Max's last night, Max's bar, with Rob Fisher, Darian, Anthony Sane, had some people over there. And we heard that the Grizzlies were going to get pick 19, and all these names start flying out. You just, you hear Kennedy Chandler. Let's see what happens here. Let's see who goes here. Jake LaRavia goes, and I don't think I heard a single clap in the bar. Just dead silence. No one has any idea who it is, and that's why when we talked to Rob Fisher earlier in the week,
I'll give him ovation.
When we talked to Rob Fisher earlier in the week, I thought it was hilarious when we sort of asked about what do you think about fits for this Grizzlies team. He's like, I don't have names. I don't have names. They're going to locate the guys they want, and they're going to pick them.
And Rob, I think he knew it might be something in the abstract like that, and he nailed it, and it was, and it has been. And until they get burned badly and repeatedly, I think they've earned the trust.
Yes, they have, and I do get a kick, though, of listening around town. I mean, podcasts, Twitter, airwaves, all
TikTok,
all the sports shows in town. All of that content leading up to this draft for the Grizzlies about who they were going to select, who they were tied to, none of that mattered. Throw it out, put it in the trash, burn it. None of it had any bearing on what they did.
And some of those people have an office down the hall from Kleiman.
Yeah, so it really, face value, I like some of it made sense, some of the guys they went. I think getting that combo forward, when you look at Jake LaRavia, David Roddy, sort of a 2-3 build, and he's a bigger guy. They definitely went out there.
This was Zaire Williams times 10.
They definitely went out there and they prioritized shooting and guys who could potentially defend multiple positions. And all 4 of those guys that they drafted last night shot 38% or above from 3 last season. So the plan is clear. And also, I think there's this level with the Grizzlies, like, Kleiman in this front office knows their kind of guys. 3 or 4 years in college is sort of baseline. That's what they want. They want guys with experience. LaRavia, you look at Roddy, Vince Williams. Look back in the past. Brandon Clark,
love Vince Williams. Mm-hmm.
Brandon Clark, Desmond Bain, Xavier Tillman,
Dylan Brooks.
And if they do get a one and done, it's generally a guy that they have a sort of defined.
Brooks was previous administration,
I'm talking about Kleiman.
Yeah.
If it's a one and done, they tend to have a relationship with that guy. When you look at a guy like Zaire and Kennedy Chandler, of course, relatively close with Josh. So
I got this last night from a friend of mine, and he was being serious, and I was serious in my response back. He said, Kennedy Chandler playing at Tennessee, you think that'll affect how the fans treat him? I texted back to him, serious inquiries only, please. It means nothing. We fell in love with Steven Adams and Matt Barnes here. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just means nothing. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. Give them a call at 901-334-9673. Great offers on all 2022 models and always special leasing options. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2022 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
And, Brett, you left out guys that we've known to love that we came to love here in Memphis. Mario Chalmers, Grayson Allen. List goes on and on.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. It has no bearing where they played in college. If they become a good Grizzly, people will respect them for that. Now, top story of the day is the NBA draft. Paolo Banchero 1, Chet Holmgren 2, Jabari Smith 3, Keegan Murray 4, Jaden Ivey number 5. Grizzlies picks: Jake LaRavia at 19, David Roddy at 23, Kennedy Chandler at 38, Vince Williams at 47. This is funny to me because I said there's no way that they stay put. I don't think they're going to make the exact 3 picks that were out there. When I said that, when I had that thought, I didn't think they were going to make 4. I didn't think they were going to have 4 rookies on deals going into this season on the roster. So it is what it is. Grizz night, I think when you go look at NBA draft specialists, they're going to grade them somewhere like a C, C-. Who cares about grades? It's about what these guys do when they actually get on the floor. The one thing I did call through this whole Grizzlies draft process, DeAnthony Melton was the trade piece. He was always the trade piece. 24 years old, good backcourt member, plays a little bit of defense.
He's the only thing that's gone.
He has value, and I think when you look at what they did, they got David Roddy and Danny Green out of that trade. I don't know what's going to come of Danny Green. Your guess is as good as mine. Usually, I mean, it's cool to have a vet like that if he actually wants
I wouldn't
to
buy
play,
a jersey.
if he wants to play with the Grizzlies, but I wouldn't buy a jersey. I don't know. I don't know if he'll play a game with the Grizzlies, but to be able to get those 2 things, to get those assets out of DeAnthony Melton was fine. I think DeAnthony Melton to the Sixers makes sense for him. I think that's good. I think he can find some playing time there off the bench and could be very valuable. Now, as a whole, when I look at the night and I look at sort of winners for me, the Pistons did a heck of a job. The Pistons, I look at what they did in getting Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey. That's the only 2 picks they had last night. Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey out of this whole situation. To add on top to Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey. They have a very young team, very inexperienced team. I wouldn't bet on them being fantastic next year, but the Pistons are building. Pistons are building.
Mm-hmm. Great catch. I've been on the Pistons building, and they even built even more last night. Top story for me, draft night had its fireworks. Maybe not 4th of July on the mall in D.C. fireworks, but pretty good fireworks. The Grizzlies, I think, got a lot more athletic, a lot more offensive-minded with some defensive tendencies thrown in last night. Zach Kleiman, we trust. Until proven otherwise, hadn't we wanted this in front office around here? Haven't we wanted somebody in they we trust? We got it now. And I know some want to kind of nitpick, but until proven horribly wrong, in Zach Kleiman, I trust.
Not top story of the day.
This has to do with the Nets drama, and this is twofold. and I'll relate it to the Grizzlies here in a second. But Woj reports yesterday if Kyrie Irving can't reach an agreement to stay with Brooklyn, he has a list of teams he'd like to consider for sign and trades. Of course, none of these teams have the ability to just sign him normally with their cap situations. He wants to go to the Lakers, Clippers, Knicks, Heat, Mavs, or 76ers if it doesn't work out with the Nets. Now, it still has a potential to work out with the Nets, although it's been looking worse and worse by the day, and this brings KD into questions. The amount of KD to the Grizzlies talk I saw last night on Twitter and the trades that are being sort of put out there. KD has 4 years left on a Supermax deal. KD has to make a lot of money. KD, what you'd have to give up to go get him would be interesting. Now, having KD on your team immediately puts you in a championship conversation. I'm not saying that. But you go look at these odds for who Kevin
makes
Durant,
you the leader for championship in the West, wouldn't it?
Yes, I think up there. Now, Kevin Durant, well, Warriors are still going to be looked at very highly. There's still some out there, but it would put you up there. Kevin Durant, next team, if not with the Nets. This is from betonline.ag. Miami Heat 5-2, so they're the favorite. Guess who's second? The Grizzlies at 4-1. The Grizzlies are 4-1 to be Kevin Durant's next team if it's not the Nets. I'm just gonna say it right now. I wish something like that could happen. I wish it would happen. That would be really fun. Kevin Durant, Ja, Jaren, whoever, Bane, if they're all out there. But at the same time, I wouldn't get my hopes up.
My not top story, Ole Miss over Arkansas yesterday. They won on Monday, they won on Thursday, and the Thursday win propelled Ole Miss into the finals, the best 2 out of 3 against Oklahoma. Far it all in college baseball. A Dylan DeLucia pitching performance of all time for the Rebs to beat Arkansas. Biggest baseball win ever for Ole Miss, and for Arkansas, since that ball fell between 3 outfielders under it in the first game of the best of 3 against Oregon State. That was in 2018. They get back to Omaha in 2019, went 0-2. 2020, COVID. 2021, losing the Supers at home in Fayetteville to NC State, and lose that heartbreaker yesterday. It's got to make them wonder when.
Yeah, it does, and I've been asking that to when we bring on our Arkansas guests. When we talk about what the Razorbacks baseball team is going to be, I ask Dave Van Horn. He's been fantastic. There's no denying it. But is it to a point where you have to break through here soon, or you're going to get very, very frustrated?
Is it a Mark Richt quality to him?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now the 2 games though, Arkansas versus Ole Miss, those were fun.
Terrific games.
Game 2 was unreal. Dylan DeLucia was crazy, but Game 1, coming down to the 9th inning, Ole Miss gets their first runner in scoring position in the 9th inning, gets the bases loaded. Zach Morris for Arkansas, you have to give it up to him. He came in. He came in and got them out of that jam. No outs, bases loaded. That was impressive. It sets up Ole Miss versus Oklahoma. Should be fun. That'll do it for top and not top story of the day.
2 great spots for barbecue in town, and New Collierville Commissary at Houston Levy and Poplar are the original, the mainstay, since the early 80s in Germantown. Memphis-style barbecue and ribs, the authentic Memphis-style slow way. And if you're craving a fast way, an easier way to order, text Commissary to 33733. Start with the nachos, the tamales, the cheese plate. All that could be your entree. The smoked chicken wings, terrific. Start with that and then work into the ribs, the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a sandwich, on a plate, all the sides, deviled eggs, bread, slaw. You can even order it by the pound or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack. The salads are so good. The Brunswick stew so good, and save room for dessert like the best lemon icebox pie I've ever had anywhere, and the outstanding banana pudding. Coming soon, tailgating. 9 weeks from tomorrow, the start of college football. High school football will be here even before that. Make the tailgate spot for the football season at the commissary. 754-5540, 901-754-5540. Online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and Germantown. Great party areas. Cool off a little bit and get back outside for live music on the weekend. And also Walker Taylor and his staff wanted me to thank everyone that came by and visited with them when they were set up last weekend at the air show. Great air show and great response to the commissary being at that. Again, 901-754-5540. Online at commissarybbq.com.
Let's grab our first break of the day. When we come back, we have some wagering to discuss. So we go to CBS Sportsline, as we always do on a Friday, and we talk with our friend Alan Bell.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
How do you grow your business without spending more on credit card fees? Call Blake Jones, your local Mid-South Advanced Merchant Services representative. He works with your business to help it grow up to 3.9% instantly. Small business owners already have enough cost. Let Blake Jones help you lower your credit card processing cost risk-free. Absolutely no cost to you, the small business owner. Call 662-408-9324. That's 662-408-9324. Call Blake Jones today and start saving money tomorrow.
Hilltop Wine and Spirits, 7034 Highway 64 in Oakland, has the best prices on hundreds of your favorite brands of wine, beer, and spirits. Not sure how things taste? That's why there's a tasting room. Enjoy taste testing wine, spirits, beers, craft beers, even after dinner drinks. You have all kinds of special occasions coming up, and Hilltop Wine and Spirits can help you make those occasions memorable. You got a corporate event, a reception, an anniversary, or just a birthday with friends. Find the best selection and prices at Hilltop Wine and Spirits, 7034 Highway 64 in Oakland.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the Callaway Trade-In Trade-Up event happening now through July 4th. Bring in any of your old clubs and receive a 50% trade-in bonus towards new Rogue ST Woods and Irons and Apex Irons. Both the Rogue and Apex families are designed with artificial intelligence for faster ball speeds. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get your 50% bonus trade-in on Callaway Rogue ST and Apex Irons today. And while you're there, get custom fit for free. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I'm ready to get my Kia on. What's happening over on Mount Moriah and Gossett Kia South?
Hey, I know the car business is crazy right now, but we got them on the lot ready to ride. I've got a 2022 Kia Forte LXS 210 a month, 2022 Kia Soul LX 223 a month, both 36-month lease and $27.99 due at signing. Plus 2022 Kia Sorento LX 315, 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing.
And Jeff, your Kias are always equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia, Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com. All 36-month leases, 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte, 8989 848, MSRP 20,770, sold in 78 68 67, MSRP 20,880. Sorrento, NG 128 223, MSRP 31,980. Must finance through Kia plus tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/5/22. Dealer stock only. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
Let me tell you what Melvin Toast is packing right here, all right?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Get it? Text a message, I don't know the number.
Back in Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe and Stats with you. I'm Gabe. He's Stats. And joining us is our good friend from CBS Sports Line, Alan Bell, at Alan Bell 247 on Twitter. Alan, what's the word, man?
Man, what's up, buddy? Y'all doing all right?
We're hanging in there. We're talk some NBA draft here in the first segment, but we have to talk about this College World Series and what we're seeing right now. Ole Miss, just as hot as they could possibly be coming in to this tournament and into the College World Series, only have lost one game through this whole process. Lost to Arkansas 3-2, and they bounced back. They looked good yesterday. Sets up Oklahoma and Ole Miss over the weekend. What do you like? What do you think will happen over the weekend?
Yeah, so first off, what you just said in terms of Ole Miss, like them losing the first game but winning the second, like credit enough on that. Most teams, when they lose the first one, they lose the second, right? So for them coming back, it's awesome. And that's what they've been doing, the entire time. So we've got Ole Miss, we've got Oklahoma, the two hottest teams coming into the World Series, and it is absolutely translated in their games. They can both pitch, they can both hit. You're really seeing two very even teams, and you're seeing it, on the betting lines. Here's the thing. Here's how you're going to play it, okay? Whichever side that you're going to play, bet Ole Miss game 1, bet Ole Miss game 2, and bet the series to go over 2.5 games, all right? So then All you need is Ole Miss to win one game, all right, and you win 2 out of 3, guaranteed. Your only nightmare scenario is if Oklahoma sweeps, and it'd be the same way if you bet Oklahoma. Now, I think Oklahoma wins game 1. I think Ole Miss wins game 2. And Buddy's going to set up for a nice game 3. We'll see when we get there. But these two teams are absolutely even.
There's a lot of paradox with Ole Miss. Preseason, highly ranked, got as high as in season as number 1, had the collapse on Sunday, May 1st, the day of the Grizzlies Golden State game 1 of the playoffs. Ole Miss at the end of that day was 14th out of 14 in the SEC, staring, not even being eligible for Hoover right in the face. Go to Hoover, they rally, they go to Hoover, lose the first game, they're out, and the loss to Arkansas was the first loss since Hoover. Alan, yeah. I like a lot of Ole Miss fans. I had a huge sense of dread and doom going into yesterday. Historically, that had been a spot that Ole Miss had not performed well in historically across really a lot of sports. Now, they were facing someone that has almost the same image in Arkansas, especially in Omaha and in baseball, so something had to give, and Ole Miss got the pitching performance of all time.
Yeah, they did. And the crazy thing is that Arkansas had a great pitching performance, too. Like, it went to show how good these two teams are. But, yeah, Ole Miss gets the win, a big one. Here's why I'm taking Oklahoma in game 1, because we saw, whoever would have won that game between Arkansas and Ole Miss, both had to throw their number 1, right? And you've got Oklahoma sitting here fresh. They've got their ace ready to go. I think that it's just set up for Oklahoma to take care of business in game 1. That being said, once you get out of that, then Ole Miss is ready to go, right? And they're a team that's not afraid to go 2 straight and win it. So either team can win this thing. What does concern me a little bit? I'll say this. Ole Miss is hitting against left-handed pitching. It scares me a little bit, right? Other than that, this team is phenomenal. And you can say the same thing about Oklahoma, too. It's going to be just a fantastic College World Series. I can't wait to see it.
And the one thing that has helped Ole Miss to this point, though, and this stat is crazy, College World Series team ERA 1.89. I mean, that's fantastic. That's great, and they've done it against good teams. But against Oklahoma, do you think that type of thing can possibly hold, especially having already thrown Dylan DeLucia?
Yeah, I do, right? I think that it can because, as good as Oklahoma is hitting, right, Ole Miss can bring guys just over and over and over and come at you. Bianco's a heck of a manager. He's been here before. He knows what he's doing, right? That can absolutely hold up. Now, what you're going to need is, what we saw out of Arkansas and Ole Miss yesterday was you saw a pretty fair strike zone. I thought it was fine. No complaints there. But you saw literally no walks, right? That's one thing that Ole Miss cannot do. Do not walk. Do not put guys on. Do not, kind of beat yourself up. If Ole Miss doesn't do that, and I'm going to say, quote unquote, steal game 1, dude, look out, because that's a problem, right? So, and I'll tell you who used this. We talked about it on the show. Remember in the Super Regionals when Notre Dame was coming to Knoxville, and we talked about it. We said Notre Dame's going to throw their number 2 on Friday, and if they steal a game, you're going to win the series, and that's exactly what they did. So Ole Miss can, quote unquote, do the same thing, even though it's not really stealing because they're right there with them. But yeah, if they get a win over Oklahoma's number 1, dude, look out.
Alan, I've talked forever about Omaha being the hardest thing in sports, in team sports to win. You're seeing how very fractious and nebulous that it is. You bring up Tennessee. Tennessee's sitting out there going, we're better than the last 2 standing in Omaha. Heck, Arkansas's color analyst post-game last night was talking about if he went position by position, he would take every single Arkansas player over Ole Miss before he finally got reeled in, and the play-by-play guy said, well, maybe Tim Elko. And he said, well, yeah, maybe Tim Elko. I mean, that was a lot of that was the, bitterness of defeat too. But you got Vanderbilt out there going, we beat Ole Miss down in Hoover. So there are a lot of teams saying that. I've set that all up to say the expanded Major League Baseball playoffs, Omaha is a precursor to maybe that out-of-nowhere team that we're not looking at right now. Cleveland could be the last team standing come October or November in Major League Baseball with these expanded playoffs. It's going to be harder.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I think college football should be looking at this too. Like, expansion in playoffs is good. Look at the NFL. It was the first year we had it, and it was arguably the greatest playoff that we've ever had, right? Like, it's always good when you give more teams a chance. I know people say, oh, there's blowouts. There's already blowouts in college football. Like, we might as well expand, give people a chance. And that's like what you said, getting back to it. That's why Omaha really is like one of the greatest championships that we have in sports, because it is so difficult, and you have teams that get hot at the right time. And like you said, right, it is all about, like, in the major league, in a playoff series, it's about pitching. In college baseball, it's hitting. You have got to put runs up. Like, if you put runs up, the other team just can't catch up to you, right? Like, you're going to have to put runs up, especially, you know, in tight games. Generally, I went through the last 10 years of Game 1 of the College World Series final. I think only one was over 10 runs. Like, they're generally 8 runs or fewer. So you're looking at tight games. You got to put up runs, man. You put up runs, you give yourself a shot against anybody at any time.
Last thing for our guest, Alan Bell, at Alan Bell 247 on Twitter. First, do you have any MLB plays over the weekend?
Yeah, I do. So, all right. So tonight, we've got the Dodgers in Atlanta against the Braves. All right. You're looking at two of the hottest offenses in Major League Baseball right now. I don't want to pick the game. Don't want to pick the winner. What I am going to do is I'm going to play the Dodgers team total over 4 runs. I'm going to play the Atlanta Braves team total over 3.5 runs. All right. But that's all we got to do. Get to 4. We're good. I think both of them are going to do it. It's nice. It's hot. You've got some, humidity out there, ball travel a little bit. I also like the White Sox on the money line tonight as well.
Rock on. Also, Stanley Cup, Game 5, closeout opportunity. Yeah. You have any thoughts there?
Oh,
Sweet.
God.
Gentlemen sweep.
Yeah, like, I don't want anything to do. Like, Colorado's going to win.
But the Lightning are the Lightning. They're just the Lightning.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's
like,
right.
I don't want to bet this game at all. Like, what I would do is I would take it that same approach. I would bet team totals. You're going to see Tampa at 2.5. You're going to see Colorado anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5. Pay the juice on 2.5 for Colorado. Colorado's going to score. Tampa's going to score. And this is probably a good game to play the over, to be completely honest with you. That's my play.
The over's been smacking the whole series. I mean, it's been very consistent.
Only one didn't hit, and it was the game the other night because it went to overtime at 2-2. Other than that, they've all been well under 6 goals.
No question. Alan, always appreciate it, man. Great conversation as always.
Man, I appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend, man. We'll talk next week.
You have a good one.
Good luck this weekend, Alan. Thank you so much. Alan Bell with us every Friday from CBS. I was talking about FanDuel earlier in the baseball this weekend. Don't forget about FanDuel and the PGA Tour this weekend. Step up to the tee and take a swing at betting the PGA Tour at FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet the tour with a no-sweat first bet. If you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back in free bets. Xander Schauffele leading right now. Take him for the rest of the weekend and take him in a head-to-head matchup over Rory. So Xander Schauffele to win outright. Rory's going to finish in the top 20, but in head-to-head, take Xander Schauffele over Rory McIlroy. Also in a head-to-head, take Patrick Cantlay over Harris English. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code CASH to get started with your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official betting operator of the PGA Tour. Use promo code CASH. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
We grab a break. When we come back, we're originally going to talk some NBA draft. We may get to that as well in this segment, but there's some breaking news on the Tiger basketball front that we have to talk about right here on Sportstime with Gabe and Stats.
You have opinions?
Well, you got to have an opinion.
Of course you do. Everyone does. Hit us up on the AutoZone listener line, 360-8255, 360-8255.
Hey, Mid-South, looking for the perfect ride that's perfect for you? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And if you don't see exactly what you want, no problem, we can order it for you. Right now at Gossett Kia, get a 2022 Kia Forte LXS, $210 a month. 2022 Kia Soul LX, $219 a month. Both 36-month leases and $27.99 due at signing. And road trip ready SUV 2022 Kia Sorrento LX, $315 a month, 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. And all Gossett Kias come equipped with a 10-year 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Piker Shop, 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte, Indy 989, 848, MSRP 20,770. Sold in 78, 68, 67, MSRP 20,880. Sorrento, NG 128, 223, MSRP 31,980. Must finance through Kia plus tax Highland license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/5/22. Dealer stock only. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Mid-South Hobbies is passionate about your hobby. They have your favorite model airplanes, boats, race cars, and trains to build with brands you know like Traxxas, Lionel, and LGB. Mid-South Hobbies has all the accessories to make them complete and thousands of paint colors to make them shine. You can reach the sky with rockets and kites or reach deep into your imagination with action figures, comic book superheroes, and fantasy quest games. Get passionate about your hobby at Mid-South Hobbies, 4862 Summer Avenue.
In the alley since 1948, the world-famous Rendezvous. John, it's so good to see everything kind of getting back to normal.
Brett, we've done a lot of ads before, but maybe it's time for me to do a recap. We have valet parking at the end of our alley on Monroe. On Fridays and Saturdays, we give away our wonderful red beans and rice until it runs out. And you know we like to do things local. Miss Barbara Jackson of O Taste and See has been making these wonderful chess and pecan pies, that's pecan, not pecan, and key lime pies for dessert. And we just started serving this wonderful gelato from Sweet Magnolia Gelato Company. And just to remind everybody, you don't eat cheese and sausage with a knife and fork. You take a cracker, you put sausage on it, you put a piece of cheese on it, a little mustard or a little sauce, take a bite and chase it with the pickle. Brett, we've always been the place for all gatherings, whether they're corporate, rehearsal dinners, retirement parties, birthday parties, whatever. We seat anywhere from 20 people to 250 people. And oh, by the way, we are now open for lunch from 11 o'clock on Tuesday through Saturday. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
What we are dealing with here is a perfect machine. It's really a miracle of evolution.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Final portion of Hour 1, as the announcer man said, brought to you every day by the great people at Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2022 models and special leasing options. On a hot weekend like this, get into a cold, cool, comfortable Lexus at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. Put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2022 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking, you'll be driving in style. Online at LexusOfMemphis.com. Again, the one and only Lexus dealership in town. Call them at 901-334-9673 and experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Now, we do have some very, very important news to get to on the Tiger basketball front. And this is just as of about 15, 20 minutes ago. Keontae Kennedy, who is a guard, 6'5", 180 pounds, started his career at Xavier, transferred to UTEP from there, where last year he had 14.1 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game, 1.8 assists per game, also had 1.8 steals, around 2 steals per game. He is officially committed to the University of Memphis, and this is a big commit in my opinion. This is a guy you could slate into that starting lineup just about right when he gets onto campus, and he really does replace the sort of Lester Quinones mold as that too. So as the way it looks right now from a starting perspective, I think there's 4 spots locked down. Then you look at a big man, but Kendrick Davis at the 1, Keontae Kennedy at the 2, Emmanuel Acott at the 3, DeAndre Williams at the 4, and then fill in the blank at 5.
Gabe, you could almost argue, I don't think there's any argument that they're more proven than the highly heralded ballyhooed class of last year. They're certainly more proven at the college level coming into this year as that group was last year. I think the good argument, we'll ask Jason Munns about this.
Yep, at 5.
Are they better?
Yeah, and we'll talk to Jason at 5, obviously from the CA. And the one thing, the experience is huge. I mean, you're going to have 23, 24-year-olds. I mean, you look at Keontae Kennedy.
They played.
He's a fifth-year guy. And in his 4th year, averaged 14.1 points per game. So he knows how to fill it up to a certain extent.
Miami did this last year.
But when you look at what they've put together, you're going to have, outside of Kendrick Davis, you're going to have length and you're going to have some defensive ability to sort of play with. And I think that's huge for Penny Hardaway because defensively, we've seen that some of the young players that he brings in, some of those 4 and 5 stars, I look at Josh Minot from last year, aren't necessarily able to grasp his defense immediately. And I think these more experienced guys who have been around the block, been at a couple stops, will be able to do that quickly.
Antoine Jones couldn't a few years back. And Gabe, I mentioned Miami. Larinaga went out and got a whole new team, and look what it did for him.
Yes, I like the thought process of what Penny's trying to do, and he has made it very clear. The transfer portal, he wanted to hit very hard, and he wanted to get an experienced team, and he has done that. And I think as far as a core is concerned now with Keontae Kennedy, Kendrick Davis, DeAndre Williams, Emmanuel Acott,
you got something.
You're right there on the precipice of getting that roster back to sort of tournament level, and I think that's all you could ask for, especially coming out of the IARP investigation, the notice of allegations, that black cloud. This roster is coming together pretty well for the 22-23 season.
Get through that just any day. Give it to us. Let us get it out of the way where we can move on and get through that, and I see really, really a bright future for Tiger basketball, near term and long term, and for Coach Hardaway to recognize, okay, I can go out and sign all these 5 stars that you want, but it takes a while to get all that going, and in that early part of the season, that's where that's where you kind of establish your chops.
Now, I will say this. Mark Adams has done it at Texas Tech. Generally speaking, when you're getting these 4th and 5th year guys, it's a temporary fix because next year you're going to have to reload and
the
figure
whole
it back
sport
out.
feels temporary right now, though, doesn't it, Gabe?
But what do you mean? Explain that.
The whole sport feels like it's very plug and play right now.
The transfer point, it's always sort of been like that at the college basketball level.
I didn't mean it as pejorative. It just feels. It feels like you kind of rolling in a new team, and I know older fans me included, used to love to know. I knew my Tigers. Too. I knew the numbers. I knew their hometowns. I knew everything about them. I knew their high schools. Those days are over.
Yeah, but and Jay Wright just stepped away. But like you look at guys who've done it really well over the years, they've had some carryover. And look who won the national championship last year. Those were guys largely recruited by Kansas and developed by Kansas. So like that's what I mean. Like I think when you're building a program, you want some sustainability. You know you're going to have some turnover. You know you're going to have some guys that go to the NBA draft, get signed, what have you, transfer, the whole thing. But I do think the successful programs still find a way to get their guys and develop them over 2 to 3 to 4 years, depending on the situation. So I like this I think this is going to help next year's team. There's not even a question about it. I think the core that they have put together is going to be great. But I think it's temporary. And you have to hit the recruiting trail the same way with the same vigor you have in the past.
Yeah, it feels very rental. It feels very Band-Aid, but
a good Band-Aid. I mean,
a good
right.
Band-Aid, and you're not alone.
Yes, you're not alone at all. And like, I brought up Mark Adams because Mark Adams has taken that, and it's been 1 year. So let me preface it by saying that. But it feels like that's what he's doing. He's going to consistently hit the transfer portal even more than he does high school, and that's okay if you can sustain that. But
yeah, you'd like a little more of a blend, maybe one or two high school. And historically, the city of Memphis will produce that for Coach Hardaway.
And this is always like seeing how Penny. And I know that there's been extenuating circumstances that have changed the way he's had to view recruiting
radically.
I get that, but the learning process for him has been an interesting one. Because he realizes
he's a quick study.
He realizes now that maybe those 5 stars out of high school that stay here 1 year aren't what's going to get me where I want to go. Maybe the guys off the transfer portal that were good at other places that may not be the most highly touted guys, maybe that experience pays off in the end. So, yes,
and maybe kind of the old man basketball template. Those guys won't get pouty the first time I have to crawl them.
Now, let me say this. He has not gone a single year without a center that's NBA caliber yet. And this year is going to be a test there. I mean, the past 3 years, well, James Wiseman didn't get to play that much, but Precious Achiuwa, James Wiseman, and then you get into Jalen Duren. He's had the guy out of high school that can immediately impact
we even thought
winning.
Cisse would do that.
Yeah, but he's had the guy that you thought out of high school that could immediately impact winning. So we'll see what happens with this. I like the addition of Keontae Kennedy, and really one that has been talked about over about the past week that many thought was going to happen. So not a whole bunch of surprise there. Now brace yourself for an existential question: has your butt been having enough fun lately? If not, then it's time to start using SeatGeek. The SeatGeek app's the best way to get tickets for live events. I love the variety. If you want to go see music, if you want to see a comedy show, go on there, go find them. They have them for the best prices. But I have to point you in the direction, all our Ole Miss faithful out there. They have a chance to win their first national championship in the history of their baseball program. If you want to make it down to Omaha, the tickets are on SeatGeek. Game 1 from 192 and up. Game 2, which will be played no matter what, 151 and up. Take advantage of these prices right now before they start to raise. Get down there. If you want to take that trip to Omaha, SeatGeek will get you those tickets, and you'll have to handle the rest of it, but SeatGeek will get you those tickets for the right prices. SeatGeek is so beloved by butts everywhere because they've made it the highest-rated ticketing app. Rates every ticket from 0 to 10 to make sure you're getting a good deal. Green means good. Red means bad. And those tickets, right this second, $192 as a starting price. Those are in the green for you, for your purchase ability. Also, I'm going to do this for you. $20 off your first purchase with promo code GABE56, GABE56 at SeatGeek.com or on the SeatGeek app. Again, promo code GABE56, GABE56 for $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek, get your seat in the seat. Download the app today. Plenty upcoming in hour number 2. We're going to have Brad Logan at 4:30 to talk about Ole Miss and Omaha. We're going to get to some NBA draft. But to start hour number 2, we talk with our man from the Gold Sheet, Bruce Marshall.
It's time for another season of golf at Miramichi. You know the spot, 15 minutes north of downtown in Woodstock. I call it heaven. It's 330 acres of natural beauty, 7,400 yards of championship-level golf, but there are several different tee boxes which make it fun or competitive for every level of golf. And the practice facilities are as good as any country club, and every round of golf comes with a cart and complimentary range balls. You can really improve your game, and you'll love the prices, too. Seniors can play Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for as low as $33. Again, the golf cart and the range balls are thrown in. The standard weekday rates are as low as $44. Friday, it's $50, and on Sunday, it's $55. You'll love the view from the terrace. You look out and see the best view in all of Shelby County. The whole experience, it's just fantastic. Go check it out yourself at Miramichi.
The Take It On sales event is still going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Go the extra mile with 41 MPG Highway in your 2022 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, $259 a month, or buy for $17,885. Get ready for your summer road trip with 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $359 a month, or buy for $25,285. Plus 2022 Outlander, vacation ready with 7 seats. We Gossett at $369 a month or $29,005. And you'll always get our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 72 months at 3.9. Outlander NZO 68336, MSRP 29505. Sport NU 009708, MSRP 26035. G4 NHF 05848, MSRP 18385. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios, grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers, everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We've all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, that's not possible. There are aerial pictures that can be taken every 4 years that can be used to measure most buildings, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one looking at pictures that could be 4 years old. If you'd rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, give us a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best service we know how to give. Fiveash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
The NBA playoffs is the world's greatest celebration of basketball. Hennessy champions the moves players are making on and off the court because true greatness is making a long-term impact on your community. Make moves that start movements. Hennessy, the spirit of the NBA. Please enjoy Hennessy responsibly.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
How do you want that cooked? Burnt to a crisp or bloody as hell?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Hour number 2, Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats here. I'm Gabe. He is Stats. You want to hit us up? Autos on listener line is 901-360-8255. Message us there. Get in the zone, Auto Zone. But the second hour of our show is brought to you by our good friends at the Big Green Egg. I always talk about in sports and in grilling, your best ability is your availability. The Big Green Egg is the last grill you will ever have to buy. Most folks have had their grills 20 to 30 plus years, and that's twofold. Highest quality ceramic, does not rust, and it's good for heat retention, does a good job at taking care of your grill. Also, the second part of it, they've had a warranty on all ceramic parts since 1995. So if you have a broken part, if you want to send it into them, you send it into them, they send you a brand new one, you get it going, you rock and roll, you put it on that grill, and you get to smoke, bake, roast, sear, or grill some of the best barbecue desserts, pizzas, whatever you want to make will be fantastic on your Big Green Egg. Made with 100% natural lump wood charcoal as far as what you're cooking it with, so the flavor is going to be great. 7 different sizes. They really do have a size and a price point for everyone, and you can find it at these retailers around town. Garden Spas and Pool, Germantown Hardware, Hamilton's Fireplace and Grills, and both the Aces in town. One in East Memphis, one in Cordova. So if you're looking for a do-it-all, reliable, long-lasting grill at a great price point, look no further than the Big Green Egg. Now it's time to bring on our friend from the Gold Sheet, Bruce Marshall. Bruce, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good there, Gabe.
Bruce, the biggest college football news maybe of the summer broke yesterday with one single tweet from Arch Manning, committed to Texas. What was your first reaction to that? Mine was, unlike Uncles Peyton and Eli, he's going to Texas to be the football savior. And neither Peyton or Eli had that asked of them. And before people say, oh, Brett, yeah, Eli had to be the savior at Ole Miss. No, he did not. He sat for 2 years watching a really good college quarterback in Romero Miller. He was not the immediate savior. And Peyton came into Tennessee with a equal recruit of his very own stature in Brandon Stewart. So he's being asked to be the savior. Peyton and Eli wasn't.
Well, here's my thought. One, Quinn Ewers, the last year's top recruit from Ohio State who's transferred there, would be interested in that because he's a quarterback too, and he thinks he's the savior there. So we'll see. My initial thought on this was I was a little bit surprised. I had expected Arch to ink with Georgia or Alabama.
Yep.
And it's funny. I wish you could have heard me with Jimmy Ott down in Baton Rouge this morning. They don't have a lot of love for the Mannings down there because they keep skipping LSU. But my other thought right off the bat was this was a Hail Mary by Steve Sarkisian, a real Hail Mary that connected for the moment. He needed this. Listen, he is under enormous pressure. I don't have to tell you guys what the pressure is like in Austin when you don't win. Last year's team made Tom Herman look good.
Yep.
And I think Tom Herman was pretty good before Sarkisian. But there was a lot of buyer's remorse among the Texas X's who are not buying this argument from Sarkisian like, well, the Arkansas game, that showed how far we have to go to compete with the SEC. Look, a couple of years before, Herman beat Georgia in a bowl game. Herman destroyed a very good Utah team in a bowl game. That last, the Sarkisian hire, they lost to Kansas. He's under the gun. And I think what this did, probably, this buys Sarkisian another year if he has a 7-5 sort of year, 8-4 that doesn't look that impressive.
And goes to the Poulan Tostitos Bowl?
Yeah, just having Arch Cub maybe gets him to 2023. If they do 5-7 again this year,
right,
with all this portal, the way they've worked the portal to get all these guys in, and they lose to Kansas again, and they go 5-7, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they pull the plug, and Arch is maybe has to think this over again after the season. So I don't think that the book is closed on this yet. With Sarkisian.
Great analysis, Bruce. I think Sarkisian is the central point in all this, bigger than the youngster himself. Texas 2-3 the last 5 against scrappy KU, and one of those wins in the 2-3 against Kansas was 50-48. Another one was 24-17 against Kansas.
Yeah, and there's a lot. There's banana peels out there for Sarkisian. I mean, if they get. If Oklahoma beats them again, and listen, the reason that they hired Sarkisian in the first place, they were thinking, okay, we're going to dip into the Nick Saban pool again here. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. Look at Jeremy Pruitt up there at Tennessee. Look at some of the others who didn't work. For every
Jimmy
Kirby
McElwain,
Smart, McElwain. For every Kirby Smart, there's a Pruitt. There's a McElwain. So. We will see. When I was talking with Jimmy this morning, they were saying, isn't it something Texas has got to be looking around at what LSU did, bringing Brian Kelly in, what USC did with Lincoln Riley. Shouldn't they be shooting for the moon more at Texas? And I said, they will the next time if this doesn't work with Sarkisian. And their calls would go to, they might not get returned, but Dabo, Ryan Day, maybe Lane Kiffin if Ole Miss wins another 9 or 10 games. But I don't think the Texas X's are going to sit on their hands and watch Sarkisian lose again or undershoot. Arch or no Arch, he better win this year, or he better look good at least doing it, or else this whole thing opens up with Arch again after the season.
You know what I haven't understand through the whole Steve Sarkisian and how narratives get pushed? Why is he looked at so fondly? Like, why? And I understand, like, the Bama rehab program and all that, but besides his days at Washington, which could not go anywhere else but up after Tyrone Willingham got done, let's be clear about that. And then once he left, Chris Peterson took it to new heights. I mean, Chris Peterson took over that program and was fantastic. Other than Washington the first couple of years, I feel like he's kind of a lifetime underachiever as a head coach. I think that's fair to say.
And Gabe, and Bruce, and here's the Washington record: 5-7, 7-6, 7-6, 7-6, 8-4 in that big Holiday Bowl win.
Well, and you're right. I mean, when he took over, that was a zero. That should not have been a 0-win team in Ty Willingham's last year. That was just a disgrace. And they had Locke, the quarterback, got hurt early that year. This is the first-round draft pick at quarterback that they had in place. So they got a little better, but they shouldn't have been as bad as they were in the first place. I think a lot of this is the Saban thing, the fact that Sark has NFL background, the fact he's supposedly a quarterback tutor, and that they think this will groom Arch for the NFL, and his work with quarterbacks in the past about maybe. But as a head coach, he's left a lot to be desired. I mean, the USC thing completely went off the rails. We know the problems he had there, but I'm telling you, at Texas last year, I know some people there. And they were furious. There was big buyer's remorse.
Yep.
So I think I looked at this as a bigger, beyond Arch. This was actually the Sarkisian angle was bigger here, and how this may save him another year, give him another year. But he's running out of rope there, and there's a lot of intrigue, I still think, in this whole thing.
And you did mention it earlier. It is twofold. Not just Sarkisian may be out if it all goes south next year or the year after that. But Quinn Ewers is there right now. And the one thing that I get a kick out of, I'm having conversations yesterday, whether it's on Twitter or with my buddies, and they say, oh, well, Quinn Ewers took him on his official visit. Quinn Ewers loves him. They're real good friends now. They're real tight. They're friends until one of them is sitting at second string. Till one of them sitting in the second row.
Like Brandon Stewart and Peyton were friends.
Of that meeting room. So I always get a kick out of how we try to change these narratives and talk about these things. The truth of the matter is one of them is going to win that job, and the other one, in all likelihood, can transfer wherever the hell they want to.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen, and Ewers will test it. This will be his second transfer if he's the guy who goes.
That first one was funny, though. I got to admit.
Yeah,
leave early, get some money, and then go to Texas.
He took out with the loot.
He did.
I know. Yeah, like dude. I mean, use the nil for all it's worth. But there's the other thing. Now, what if Texas wins? What if Sarkisian does turn this around? And what if Ewers looks like the next thing? I mean, he couldn't go to the NFL right away. He'd have to wait at least another year. If Arch thinks he's going to play then coming in, and you got a guy entrenched who had a big year,
yep.
We'll see. There's no guarantees, even for a guy like Arch, although it seems all laid out for him. We'll see. The level...
Did we lose Bruce?
Down in Baton Rouge told me about this, and his son actually played against Arch last year, but the level of football that Arch is playing in New Orleans now, it's not the absolute top tier. So there's still some questions about him too. Although he seems he's bigger than his uncles, and he's more durable, and he checks all the boxes. But none of this is guaranteed. But I still think the Sarkisian angle is the real interesting one here. We got to follow this fall.
I don't think for a single second that he will miss. I think he will hit center of the bullseye. He will be a star. They eat pressure. They eat pressure for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Arch Manning will be fine. The Sark, Texas situation is what scares me, and the savior they're expecting him to be. Peyton went into Tennessee with a comparable recruited player in Brandon Stewart, both expecting to be redshirted before all the quarterbacks got hurt that night at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. Tennessee was only 2 years removed from a great college quarterback. Don't think about what he did in the NFL. Think about what Heath Shuler did in college, a great college quarterback. At Ole Miss, Eli did redshirt his freshman year, sat and watched a really good quarterback, Romero Miller, in his first year of eligibility. The coaching staff, Fulmer was in his second year, and Tennessee had 4 coaches in 30 years. Ole Miss, David Cutcliffe was in his second year. Ole Miss had 6 coaches in 30 years. Texas is on coach number 4 in the last 9 years, and we're a long way removed from their last good quarterback, Colt McCoy.
We are, and that's why this is sort of a roll of the dice. And, from everything I hear from down there and what you guys say and what Jimmy and everybody in Baton Rouge tells me, that he's going to hit the field ready to contribute right away and be a star. However, I still think there's some intrigue going on here. I mean, he could get hurt this year, too. I mean, things change. Listen, John Elway didn't end up hurting him too much most of his senior year. I think he missed almost his entire senior year in high school because of a knee injury. Things happen, and we've still got a ways to go. But you're very right about Texas. It has been unstable there. And we'll see where this goes. And I'm hardly sure Sarkisian's the guy to turn it around. And that's why I think the last chapter of this thing maybe hasn't been written yet with Arch.
Bruce, I promise you, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but sure, last thing I'd want to do is try to embarrass you or ask you something that you didn't know. I mentioned Colt McCoy. We know the great quarterback before that. Their one national championship since segregated, crew cut, 195-pound nose guard football, and that was Vince Young and that great upset over SC out at the Rose Bowl Stadium. But other than Colt McCoy and Vince Young, and James Street back in that era, name me a great Texas quarterback all time.
Wow. I mean, Duke Carlisle? Nah, I don't think so. I mean,
Peter Gardere?
No. I mean,
Randy McEachern?
Brewer? No.
Donnie Little?
Donnie Little? No.
Rick McIver?
And not to mention,
quite.
like Vince Young is the only number 1 5-star
That's
guy.
it.
Colt McCoy,
they don't produce them.
Colt McCoy was a 3-star guy. Colt McCoy was not a well thought of prospect out of high school.
Yeah, I mean, James Street was done after college, and it just Alan Lowry. He ended up being a baseball player, I think.
My old buddy Marty Akins.
Marty Akins, sure. I mean, there is not a history there with quarterbacks, and so you're right. I mean, there really has been. So maybe he is looking. Maybe I just wonder if Arch thinks that he's getting away from some of the buzz. I mean, you're going into the Hornets' nest in Austin. I mean, that is the most impatient bunch of fans I've ever seen, and that's a very close race. There's a lot of schools that can make that claim, but he's jumping right into a Hornets' nest there. That's for sure.
But when we talk about quarterback development, I think we do have to take into consideration the other school that was mentioned in these conversations is Georgia. And obviously national championship winning last year, did it with Stetson Bennett. They had their track record with quarterbacks it's solid, but from an NFL perspective, isn't fantastic, is it?
No, not yet. I mean, Stafford might not be done yet. He's helped, and he's got them. He's got a Super Bowl now. But you're right. I mean, it hasn't been Tarkenton a long time ago. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, and all the the other Georgia quarterbacks throughout the years. So you're right. It isn't great there either. But we'll see. I am, though, a little surprised. It did catch me by surprise when I saw that news. He's going to Texas. I didn't expect him to lean that way, and part of it was because of Sarkisian. I mean, his status there.
He's so very volatile.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like going to Georgia. Kirby's going to be there. Saban's going to be there. I think he's getting older now. But, that's what surprised me about that, because it's a volatile situation in Texas, and that did surprise me a bit.
Bruce, you went through some big names that would be on that dream list if they had to make a move after this year, but even before Arch Manning ever played a down to have to change coaches. Bruce, all of us, Bryant, Gabe, you, me, everybody in our listening audience, we're all old enough to remember when Texas thought they were going to get Nick Saban.
They did. Well, and Jimmy Sexton knew that too, and he made sure Alabama knew it and used that. I don't think Saban was ever serious about it, but Jimmy worked that pretty well. See, but I think now in this age, what Texas and now in the age of nil, Texas is going to be able to be a top player there.
Yep.
Jimbo. I mean, A&M made a bigger splash on its hire with Jimbo than Texas did with Sarkisian. They're going to have to look at that, especially if A&M outperforms Texas again. They'll start playing again in a couple of years, I guess. But I think the next time it comes up for Texas, they're shooting right at the top. And they will, and now these college jobs are paying more. The top college things, they can pay more than the NFL now. So I think they would. They'd go right to. I mean, Dabo probably says no. Ryan Day maybe says no, but that's where they aim, right at the top the next time. No more fooling around at Texas if this doesn't work.
Our guest, Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet. Now, as far as wagering over the weekend, we have some stuff that we need to get into tonight. In particular, Stanley Cup Finals. Game 5, Avs have just about owned this series for the most part, except for that Game 3 in Tampa Bay. Do you think a closeout opportunity is going to be fulfilled tonight?
I don't know. I would look first at the under because, like most series this year in the Stanley Cup, the games have become lower scoring as each series has progressed. It certainly was like that in the Rangers series with Tampa Bay. Not as much Colorado and Edmonton, but certainly the Rangers Tampa Bay was. And we saw an under the other night for the first time in this series in Game 4. I'm pretty sure Vasilevsky is still going to be strong in goal, so I would look under first. I don't know that Tampa Bay is out of this thing yet. And the reason I'm saying that is 3 of these 4 games. Listen, Colorado has won 2 of these games in overtime, and Tampa Bay won in a romp in the other game. So the only game where they really cleaned Tampa Bay's clock was in Game 2. They did tilt the ice in the overtime the other night, and maybe in Game 4. And maybe that's catching up with Tampa Bay. The schedule, they have been more taxed through the postseason than Colorado. Maybe they're a little bit tired. Looks to me like maybe Tampa Bay could use that 3-day break between games that the NBA had and not the 2-day. We'll see. But I don't count them out of this yet because for the first period and a half on Wednesday, they look like they should have been ahead 4-1, 5-1. I think they're capable, and they won't fold up. And Vasilevsky in goal is capable of stealing them a game. So I'd be very reluctant to go with Colorado. Certainly at that price, I wouldn't go with them on the puck line either. I actually think there's more value in Tampa Bay at that price, but the under would be my first call tonight. 6, they got that under sitting at 6. I think this is a 3-2 sort of game tonight.
Yeah, the Lightning. I mean, it's hard to count out the Lightning after what we've seen from them in this century. I mean, they've just been unbelievable. Now, last thing for you, as far as baseball is concerned, MLB College World Series, anything in particular you're looking at?
Yeah, interesting. I like this series tonight with the Dodgers in Atlanta. First time since the NLCS, where they lost all 3 games at Truist Field last October. So Urias and Anderson go tonight. Atlanta looks to me like they have got the Mets in their sights right now. They're both going to make the playoffs, but Atlanta could collar the Mets like they did last year. Mm-hmm. That was a very important series win over the Giants. And the Dodgers have been beating up the Reds, the Diamondbacks, and the Angels. They are 17-0. Their last 17 against those 3. And against everybody else this year, they're just barely 500. I think the Braves, slight dog, good, interesting one tonight. How about this one, the A's and the Royals? I actually saw this game up in Oakland last Saturday, and Cole Irvin was pitching. On the road, Oakland hasn't been all that bad. They can't score, but they have a better chance on the road. But that series last weekend, 12 runs total scored on the weekend. Greinke is back tonight off of the DL. He's been struggling for Kansas City, but I can't imagine Oakland scoring a lot of runs against everybody. But Irvin kept the Royals in check. Yeah. They got this total about 8.5. That looks like a low-scoring under to me.
So you were at the Coliseum?
Yes, I was.
Oh gosh!
Last Saturday, I was there.
How many people? And not what they said. What you think was there?
Did they make you grill your own hot dog?
Well, I'll tell you, they said 10,000, which was that's appendages.
Oh wow!
I think there were about 4,000 or 5,000. The funniest thing was where we sat. My wife got scared. She was afraid there was no fans around to deflect a foul ball that might come back to injure her. She thought she was vulnerable. There's nobody sitting around us. But Actually, I kind of liked it. It was the sidelines aren't that bad there, but
right.
But
the tunnels and the sort of structure of that stadium, though.
No,
Bruce, I have told Brett. I've said it a million times.
Has anybody ever been mugged at baseball in the stadium?
It is one of the worst stadiums I've ever been
It is,
to.
and the concourse is tight, and they don't. It's nothing like these modern stadiums.
Right.
It's a real throwback. So.
Yeah.
But it's a baseball game. I sort of like this.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
At $30 to park, though. No, I don't like that.
What? $30 to park by the Coliseum? Are we kidding? They have a big old parking lot too between the two stadiums.
And I don't want to take the BART now. By comparison, I went to the Angel game the week before in Anaheim. $10 to park. Now that's a much better bargain.
Yes, that is. Bruce, tell our listeners where we can find more of you.
Thanks, Gabe. Check us out online, goldsheet.com. Got picks on these hockey games. As long as they're playing the Stanley Cup Finals, we'll have picks. And we got baseball picks, too. Every day we'll get some football. I'll write something about season wins, college football coming up in a few weeks here as we start gearing up for that. Right now, hockey and baseball. Every day, picks there. Goldsheet.com. My picks there, too. Also, Vegas Insider and DonBest.com.
Awesome stuff as always, Bruce. Appreciate you.
Okay, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Bruce. And Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet.
Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet with us every Friday, and he was talking odds and handicapping in the weekend. Brett Norsworthy here for FanDuel. He was at baseball. I guess you could call being at A's game for baseball this baseball season. Turn K's into cash and big hits into big wins with FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can step up to the plate with a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Sign up using promo code CASH. Place that first bet, and FanDuel will give you up to $1,000 back in free bets if you don't win. Great promotions every day, safe and secure, get paid fast. Tonight, I love the Cardinals over the Cubs. Laying pretty big odds on it, but I love the Cardinals at home against the Cubs. Also, Freddie Freeman with a home run with a hit this weekend in his return. There's no better place to bet America's pastime than on America's #1 sports book. That's FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code CASH to get started with your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Time for a break and a gear switch. When we come back, we have some Ole Miss in Omaha. We have some College World Series to discuss with our friend on Ole Miss, Brad Logan.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Bellyacre's motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. Two great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday 11A to 9P, Friday and Saturday 11A to 10P. Regalia Sunday through Thursday 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Dare Ya or the Double Dare Ya, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Bellyacres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Bellyacres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Bellyacres.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions. Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hey, I got one of my best customers, Mark, here.
Hey, Montana.
Hey, Mark, tell Sports56 fans the deal of the century that I gave you at Sleep Cheap.
Yeah, I just bought the whole family some new mattresses. Our backs thank you. Easy professional people to work with, good quality mattresses and box springs, and they under-promised and over-delivered. We got the Sports56 deal. The hybrid mattress and box springs regularly $1,000 for $599, and the wife and I got the king-size mattress normally $1,500 for $999.
Mark, it was a pleasure working with you. Glad you and your family are happy with the quality of our memory foam. Now I'm extending this manager's suite deal to my fellow Sports56 fans. Check out our 3 locations, 6330 Winchester, Memphis, 1069 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, and West Memphis, 1701 North Missouri Street. Also wanted to let you know Sleep Cheap mattress sets starting at $199 to $4,000. We have twin XLs, queen, king, California King, we got it all. And again, guys, take advantage of this sweet Sports56 hybrid mattress queen box deal. Normally $1,000, we got it for $599. We also have the King, normally $1,500, selling for $999. See y'all at Sleep Cheap.
Spring has sprung at Dan West Garden Center with blooming annuals and perennials, trees and shrubs everywhere. It's important to keep your yard and garden healthy, so Dan West has a very knowledgeable staff to help landscaping to grass to garden care and create your dream garden. Dan West has beautiful flowers from perennials to blooming annuals, garden lovers, even heirloom tomatoes, and a wide selection of herbs. You name it, Dan West has it. With over 100 years experience, Dan West enjoys sharing gardening tips and taking your growing needs to the next level. Dan West, with 2 locations, 12061 Highway 64 in Eads and 4763 Poplar. Open 7 days a week. Make gardening fun and easy at Dan West Garden Center.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
I think this is the best chicken I ever had.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
College World Series Finals, Game 1, Oklahoma versus Ole Miss, will be tomorrow at 6 p.m., and we're going to bring on Brad Logan in just a moment to talk about that and more Ole Miss. But I have to tell you how to get some tickets. If you want to make it down to Omaha for the weekend, I have to tell you about your butt's favorite app. That's right, it's SeatGeek. The SeatGeek app's the best way to get tickets for live events. I always talk about the variety normally, but I have to point you in the direction of College World Series Finals tickets. Game 1 and Game 2 will absolutely be played. They are fully necessary. Game 1 starting at $192. Game 2 from $151 and up. SeatGeek is so beloved by butts everywhere because they've made it the highest-rated ticketing app. SeatGeek rates every ticket from 0 to 10 to make sure you're getting a good deal. Green means good, and red means bad. And those tickets I just highlighted for you are in the green. They are good to go because SeatGeek tries to give you the best prices on the market. And you can also get $20 off your first purchase with my promo code GABE56, G-A-B-E 56 at SeatGeek.com or on the SeatGeek app. Again, that's promo code GABE56, G-A-B-E 56 for $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek, get your seat in a seat. Download the app today. Without further ado, let's bring on Brad Logan at Brad Logan, C-O-T-E, from Inside the Rebels on 247 Sports. Brad, how's it going?
Doing very well, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on today.
Absolutely. Very, very happy to have you on. So are you in Omaha still or on the way back?
I am not. I was able to experience Omaha last weekend, and it's incredible. I know a lot of Ole Miss fans will be headed that direction, and you talked about tickets. They will be very difficult to come by, especially that opening game tomorrow night. I've been told that tickets are premium. Those prices you were given a moment ago, as good as any as I've heard. So it's definitely going to be a hot ticket, as this Rebel baseball team is absolutely red hot right now.
Brad, it is, and I've talked, and I've been serious about it through the years about this being the hardest thing in all of sports to win. Heck, this may be the hardest thing in all of sports for fans to attend.
Yeah, it's a very hard series to attend. I talked to some Mississippi State fans last year, and they said, yeah, we had to float a second mortgage. We stayed in Omaha a week and a half. You're talking about hotel rooms at $500 a night.
Jello shots?
Yeah, a lot of Jello shots. And then I got you $250. So yeah, it's very expensive. It's obviously something that fans have had a great time. Will always enjoy that. It'll be life memories, but it's very expensive.
I'm going to a family friend's wedding this weekend. Wouldn't miss it for anything. Going to be there Saturday. And I thought, well, what the heck? I'll be in Little Rock. Let me pop up and just see if Southwest, if there's anything conducive. It started at $11.50.
Yeah, I mean tickets. Plane tickets are insane. Even I flew into Kansas City last weekend, and it was, it still was pretty expensive, but it wasn't as bad as flying into Omaha. Look, the odd part about all this, you talk about how hard it is for the fans. For the team itself, Brett and Gabe, Ole Miss has essentially had to win about 4 NCAA regionals, one against Miami, one against Arizona, one against Southern Miss, one against Arkansas, and, oh, by the way, you had to beat Auburn too. So it's been so many series you have to win during the postseason that it's, like Brett said, this may be the most difficult national championship in collegiate sports to win.
And what's been interesting to see from Ole Miss, before 2 days ago when they finally lost to Arkansas, they hadn't lost a game in the tournament. They hadn't even struggled really all that much up till that point. But they lose and then immediately bounce back. And Dylan DeLucia was fantastic. They win 2-0. To see that response, even though they hadn't dealt with much adversity, was nice to see.
Well, and I'd love to get Brett's comments on this, but you look and saw what Dylan DeLucia did just last night. And not only was it the greatest pitching performance, I think in Ole Miss modern history, it very well could have been the best sports moment in modern history across the board. You look back at the Sugar Bowl in 15, go all the way back to Marshall Henderson for Ole Miss basketball, the OCC tournament, I think in 12-13. You win a national championship like the baseball team does. So, obviously the season's not over, but that pitching performance last night by DeLucia, who, by the way, nowhere to be found in the preseason. Just kind of came out of nowhere. Yanko said in the preseason press conference, he was naming people that were probably going to start this season. Those guys don't even pitch and not even mentioned. By the way, the starters going into the first game against Oklahoma tomorrow night, Jack Doherty will go game 1. The collegiate baseball All-American Hunter Elliott, who's been fantastic, will go game 2 on Sunday night. It's a question mark if that happens on Monday. But, yeah, Dylan DeLucia, a guy that nobody really heard much about out of Northwest Florida Community College, comes into Oxford and has absolutely turned this program on its head. And the thing about it, gentlemen, Ole Miss did not hit the baseball at all against Arkansas. Nolan was great. Their pitching has been fantastic for the Razorbacks, so Ole Miss was not able to do anything. But they did a couple of timely hits, win very close ball games, and have great pitching performances. Everything that happens in baseball, specifically college baseball, needs a little bit of luck. And Ole Miss has had some good happenstance. They barely got into this NCAA tournament, the last team to get in, number 64, and now they could be the last team standing. It's almost like a Disney movie, how this thing has kind of transpired over the last couple of weeks.
Our guest, and always fun to catch up with Brad Logan. We'll see Brad at SEC Media Days in about 10 minutes right after the Rebels get home from Omaha. It'll be time to head to Atlanta to the College Football Hall of Fame for SEC Media Days. Brad, it's really both. So I'm asking, which one is it the bigger? Which one is Ole Miss the bigger story of? Is it the little engine that on May 1st were 14 out of 14? Everybody had written them off. But, people that would never have the conversation about replacing Mike Bianco not only were having that conversation but endorsing that move? Or is it the team that was number one and they're in the SEC and it's Ole Miss, an established baseball program? You can't have it both ways, can you? Can you be the little scrappy engine that could
No.
and also a college baseball powerhouse?
I don't think you can. I think you're the number one team, and they're playing like the number one team that everyone thought they were when Tennessee rolled in and steamrolled this team early this season when the Rebels were number one. They're the same team. It's just it took them quite a ways to get there. Mike Bianco has said in multiple press availabilities that, hey, everybody was counting us out when we were 7-14, and this is a team that just kind of took their lumps. And Kevin Graham is a big component of this. The left fielder went down with a hand injury midway through the year, and this team just kind of fell off a cliff. And all of a sudden, when he came back, it's almost like a resurgence of this team came back. Now, the Rebels went on the road to Fayetteville, lost 2 out of 3, Brett, but could have swept the Razorbacks on the road. They started playing really well. They beat Mississippi State in a midweek game. They beat then number 11 Southern Miss on the road in Hattiesburg, which catapulted this team to get into the regional in and of itself. And Mike Buddy, the chair of the selection committee, admitted that those non-conference wins over Mississippi State, the sweep over LSU, and the non-conference win over Southern Miss got them in. So I think this is the number one team in the country that everybody thought they were going to see. It just so happens they had a heck of a way to get here. In fact, a coach had his one leg out the door, a team that was a home run from a defensive tackle away from getting run ruled by SEMO during some random Tuesday night with about 10 people in the stands. All of a sudden now they're one of the few teams standing. In fact, the only 2 left teams standing on their way to a national championship. Oklahoma standing in the way. It's really a heck of a story. But, Brett, I think this is the team we always thought they were going to be in the beginning of the year.
Now, Oklahoma as a whole, Oklahoma has been fantastic, hasn't struggled all that much during the College World Series. What do you think about them as an opponent, and what do you think Ole Miss can do to sort of neutralize what they like to do?
Standing in the way is a really good white-hot Oklahoma team. And not only, Gabe, are they playing really well, they had a full complement of pitchers. Ole Miss does not go with Dylan DeLucia, cannot go with DeLucia until a possible Monday night game. So They can't pitch their ace because they did beat Arkansas when they were in the winner's bracket. So Oklahoma did that. They put out Notre Dame. They've got their full complement of pitchers. They're a really good team. But I'll be honest with you, it just feels like the national championship runs through the SEC this year. And in some ways, many people feel like that Ole Miss kind of won a little bit of the national championship last night by beating Arkansas, which I think is the hottest team in this tournament. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Oklahoma. They very well could win the national championship. But it really feels like Ole Miss has got a bit of an edge right now because of the gauntlet they've had to go through.
Right.
When, heck, you had 4 teams of the SEC West that made it to Omaha. That's absurd. So to have that type of schedule, have that type of, I guess you could say, gauntlet that you've been able to go through, it's kind of got Ole Miss prepared and ready for the battle with Oklahoma coming up tomorrow night.
Brad, I'll admit to it. I've talked about it earlier. I didn't have great prospects for yesterday coming off that heartbreaker. Bases loaded in the 9th, only score 1, lose 3-2. Arkansas defensively, Arkansas position and strategy to where to put their defenders, just so very good. Dave Van Horn, one of the legends of the sport. Then I get the Arch Manning news yesterday morning. I'm telling you, I thought, oh, no, here it comes. How come you think it's so pervasive in the Ole Miss world, that attitude?
I don't know why the people, kind of dwell in the negativity. It really frustrates me. I had a conversation with Coach Yolette McEwen, and she doesn't understand that either. Of course, she's a women's basketball coach at Ole Miss, and I feel like Kermit Davis and Lane Kiffin and Mike Bianco would feel the same way. I know the administration feels that way. But I don't know if it's more of a joking situation or why people decide to do that. At the end of the day, Arch Manning was never coming to Ole Miss, Brett. You and I know that. And why they chose to announce that on the day that Ole Miss is playing for a chance to play in the national championship, yet again, something I don't understand. Ole Miss kind of threw all that out the window. And what I told the running joke is I think that Lane Kiffin buried We Are Ole Miss, and Mike Bianco is applying the dirt to it. So I don't think that happens in Ole Miss fandom as much as it did in the past. Michael Thompson, to his credit, did his best to try to get away from that stigma. It's been around for a long time. You can't just get rid of it overnight. But I think slowly but surely, Brett, we're kind of seeing that go away.
Mm-hmm. No question about it. So we'll see what happens tomorrow starting at 6. Ole Miss versus Oklahoma in the College World Series. Brad, always a great conversation. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you so much, Brad Logan, on the scene at Ole Miss for 247, his Believe podcast, and so very plugged in. And yesterday, I wasn't alone in the of the dread, but DeLucia going out there and putting up those zeros. And Dave Van Horn made this point. I didn't catch this. He made the point for me post game. Ole Miss or Arkansas never got a leadoff runner on the entire game yesterday. When you don't have that guy standing out there on the base paths, that makes it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. No question about it. No question.
And they were able to. Since 1932, you talking about style, we've had it. We've had it with Gould, Salon, and Spa since 1932, over 90 years. Mr. Sam Gould, he had a dream to provide his clientele with a truly professional and unique fashion experience, and it's been realized now with sons and grandsons and granddaughters of Mr. Sam. Children, the daughters are involved now. Philip Gould's daughter back, and we're so glad she's back in the family business and doing such a good job. So it is truly a family experience and going forward into generations to come. 10 locations, never far from a Gould Salon and Spa. The spa services, the body treatments, the massages, facial, nail care, Medi-Spa services, everything you can imagine. And the perfect gift for any season, any time of the year, that Gould's gift card. Go to GouldSalonSpa.com and you can get it. It's always the perfect size. It's always the perfect color, male, female. It takes care of them. It makes you feel so very good, exclusive to our area. And, again, the best holiday gift for any season is a Gould's gift card. The best spa packages available, it's at Gould's. And the style for me this week, it's got to be the Rebels in Omaha, on the verge, 2 games away from it, 2 wins away from first national championship, long awaited in baseball. I think Mike Bianco would say he probably thought it would be before now, but anything worth it's worth waiting for. And either come Sunday afternoon, or Monday night, they get those 2 wins, it'll be the first one. Great year for Ole Miss.
Yeah, and if you're going an individual there, Dylan DeLucia, my gosh, last night was just unreal to see. Now, for me, my Gould style goes to what we saw with dreams realized during the NBA draft last night. For the Grizzlies, this is going to be twofold for Memphis. We have the Grizzlies, Jake LaRavia from Wake Forest. I think he provides a lot in the way of being sort of that 3-4. He can shoot from the outside, and it's going to be fun to watch him develop. David Roddy, of course. Kennedy Chandler from UT, a lot of local fans here and from the city, getting to return, getting to be with one of his idols, one of his friends, John Morant, and also Vince Williams Jr. But from the Tigers' perspective, we're going to bring on Jason Munz at 5 to talk about this, among other things. Of course, Keontae Kennedy committing to the University of Memphis. But to see those guys land on their feet, Jalen Duren 13 to Detroit, Josh Minot, who didn't really get to play all that much at the University of Memphis last year, but 45 to the Hornets, and Lester Quinones lands on his feet, 2-way with the Warriors. Very fun to see last night's action, and it lived up to the bill. There's no question. Now let's go ahead and get to our final break of hour number 2. When we come back, we have some NBA draft to discuss right here on Sportstime with Gabe and Stats.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Hi, I'm Troy 5 owner of 5 Roofing. Sunday, today and today only. And for the first 50 callers. These are things you will never hear me say in my ads. Because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you don't need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get someone's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. 5 Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service, and I do it for a fair price, why would I need gimmicks? Best products, best warranties, and the best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. 5 Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Your favorite Italian deli, Lucchese's, now ships. For over 25 years, Memphis has trusted Lucchese's to feed their loved ones. And now they've created 4 great comfort food meals that can be shipped across the country to your family and friends. Enjoy lasagna, ravioli, tortellini, spaghetti, Italian spinach, and delicious sauces with no MSGs, no preservatives, and no artificial colors. Lucchese's can ship anywhere in the U.S. All you need to do is go online to lucchese's.com to place your order or call 901-766-9922. The Memphis Grizzlies are hiring. Yep, you heard right. The Grizzlies are hiring. Join us next Wednesday from 5 to 7:30 p.m. for an on-site job fair at FedEx Forum. Get your head in the game, update your resume, and visit grizzlies.com/career-fair to RSVP.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Now that the warmer weather has arrived, let Choate's perform their $99 20-point AC tune-up to get your AC ready for the hot summer months ahead. Also, Choate's is offering our half-off 1 pound of Freon coupon on our website for you to use. Does your HVAC system need to be replaced? If so, right now is an excellent time to take advantage of Carrier's 60 months, no-interest financing on select systems. Want to improve your indoor air quality? Choate's is also offering our new APCO air purifier for $100 off when you get your air ducts cleaned. UV technology sterilizes biological contaminants and neutralizes odors and toxic VOCs. Match that technology with getting your air ducts cleaned, and you'll have the indoor air quality your family needs. Better call 347-8086 today. These specials won't last long. Turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Bon appetit.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
All right, so all said and done, after last night's festivities and the Grizzlies rookie class, what we're going to see is 6 rookie contracts, guys on rookie deals. Jake LaRavia, we've mentioned, David Roddy, Kennedy Chandler, Vince Williams Jr., and then they signed 2 free agents. One, Keve Aluma from Virginia Tech, very familiar with him. I thought he was a good player for Virginia Tech. Here's the one that a lot of people were hoping this guy would opt out of the NBA draft this year and come to the University of Memphis. But Kenneth Lofton Jr. from Louisiana Tech
finally get him.
Joins the Grizzlies as a free agent signing. Now, all said and done, I'm not going to act like I know a whole bunch about Jake LaRavia. I did get to see some of his film, and I think from a perspective of where he fits in, I think he can be a 3 or a 4. He can handle the ball a little bit. He can do a little bit of everything, and he's got experience. So I think they expect him to be inserted into a rotation of some sort. If Kyle Anderson can't come back, you get a little bit of length, a little bit of defense, and maybe a little bit on the offensive end from Jake LaRavia. David Roddy's a guy who I don't think a lot of people understand what he was able to do at Colorado State. And he is a big guy, and he sort of played that 2-3 role, but 6'6", 250 as a 2 or a 3. And
looks bigger than that.
And,
yeah, he does.
But 19 points per game, can get to the rack, shot really well, defensively could guard a few positions, did well, I mean, even in the post because of the size. So I like that addition, but the one I really have to point out, 38, Kennedy Chandler. That was one where you thought maybe 29, 22 he could possibly be in play. I thought trading up to go get him there was an effort to maybe develop him into a Tyus Jones role. Now, I think with that role, people need to slow their roll, trying to say immediately he's going to be inserted in there as
took a while for Tyus.
But he's not. He cannot, his first year at 19 years old, be expected to have that level of ability, that level of wherewithal. Tyus Jones is 25 years old, doesn't have that type of athletic ability, and has to play that way, has really good IQ. Kennedy Chandler, I love what I saw from him at Tennessee, but to grow into that in one off season, to be a heir apparent, to be a backup to Ja Morant, that shouldn't be expected of him.
Gabe, we haven't made much of the Kevin Durant rumors. I think they will really fuel bigger next week because we got a little time to play with. Not much. I think if anything happens with him, regardless of where, staying in Brooklyn or departing, I think latter part of next week into Friday. You okay with my time frame? You think that's right on or not?
Well, we'll see. I don't know what the time frame's looking like right now.
Whenever it is. If it is Memphis, if, and I'm not going to put any odds on it. I'm not going to say anything.
I have odds for you.
That
4
I
to
live
1.
to regret.
4-1. There are the odds.
Okay. I will say this. I think I know the history pretty well. Plenty of others know it as well or better, and they certainly have the right to their opinion. News breaks the Memphis Grizzlies have traded for Kevin Durant, and he is a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. Biggest sports story to ever break in the history of Memphis.
I think absolutely. I would not argue with that. This is an all-time great. This is a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's a guy on the NBA 75 list, Finals MVP, all of that. Coming to Memphis to be alongside Ja would be fantastic. Now, let's talk realistic. If you wanted to go get Kevin Durant, Bane or Jaren's going to be part of that deal in a way, shape, or form. You can't avoid that. One of those pieces that you want to be part of your team well into the future, you're going to have to offload if you want to go get a guy like Kevin Durant. And I'll say this, I'd do it. If you can do it, to go get Kevin Durant, you do it in the drop of a hat. You don't even question it. Kevin Durant's Kevin Durant.
Except for Ja, I would do it with anyone else.
See, but I think that would be a well-established – that would have to be a well-established sort of parameter. Ja would be off the table for that. But anything outside of that's on the table. Jaren, who just signed a $100 million contract. Bane, who's still on his rookie contract but looked like a most improved candidate last year. You're going to have to give up a lot to go get. And we'll see what happens. Right now, Heat 5-2 if Kevin Durant decides to leave the Nets. But Grizzlies second right now at 4-1. And the pipe dreams, looking at Twitter right now, people are loving it. There's no question about that. Now, before we get to hour number 3, let me tell you about 117 Prime. 117 Prime. Like, listen, if you know me, you know I will never, ever, ever steer you wrong when it comes to a good meal. And that will not change. That's why I'm steering you in the direction of 117 Prime. It sits on 117 Union Avenue, and it is a prime, no pun intended, example of what an American steakhouse should be. Absolutely perfect steaks cooked to your liking over hickory wood for the best flavor in town. Also, on top of the steaks, don't miss out on the seafood. Oysters, clams, shrimp, lobster, you name it, they have it. On top of that, cocktails, desserts are some of the best in town. It opens at 4 p.m. every day, and they would love to have you by. We're getting into the weekend. Treat yourself. Treat yourself to some 117 Prime. To make reservations, go to 117prime.com or call this number, 901-433-9851. Again, 117prime.com or call this number, 901-433-9851, to reserve at 117 Prime. That'll do it for hour number 2. Hour number 3 on the way, and we have a whole lot to discuss with Jason Munz from the CA on some Tigers basketball.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe, and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in, because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together.
Hey, Mid-South, looking for the perfect ride that's perfect for you? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And if you don't see exactly what you want, no problem, we can order it for you. Right now at Gossett Kia, get a 2022 Kia Forte LXS, $210 a month. 2022 Kia Soul LX, $219 a month. Both 36-month leases and $27.99 due at signing. And road trip ready SUV 2022 Kia Sorrento LX, $315 a month, 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. And all Gossett Kias come equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte, $89.89, $848, MSRP $20,770. Sold in $78.68.67, MSRP $20,880. Sorrento, NG $128,223, MSRP $31,980. Must finance through Kia plus tax, Highland license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/5/22. Dealer stock only. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
In the alley since 1948, Mr. Charlie Virgo's world-famous Rendezvous. John, you and your family continue the great work at the Rendezvous. Next year will be the 75th birthday party. Let's start the party now.
Brett, there are so many visitors in town to watch the emerging Grizzlies and to see our great sights and sounds in Memphis. I see them all the time at the restaurant. I want them to know Memphis is a great foodie town. There are so many family-owned, locally owned great restaurants that have stood the test of time. I won't mention all because the list is too long and I don't want to leave anybody out, but I will mention Jim's Place Grill because my cousins own it. It's a great restaurant and they've stood the test of time, and they are this year celebrating their 100th anniversary. And of course, any visitor that comes to Memphis needs to eat barbecue. And I've said this before, there's great barbecue all over Memphis. I know because I eat it. But if you just have one night to eat barbecue in Memphis, it should be the Rendezvous. It's such a special place with a special staff. And by the way, next year we will be celebrating our 75th anniversary.
The world-famous Rendezvous, serving Memphis in the Mid-South and with the shipping serving the world. At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
I couldn't believe it either, but that thing runs like new.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
My nail tech knows how to keep it a little secret. I don't wish.
Jason Munns joins us from the Commercial Appeal, the paper of record, and he is the beat writer for Memphis Tigers men's basketball, and a lot going on with the Tigers over this offseason, a lot going on with the Memphis Tigers today. We will visit with Jason. We hadn't caught up with Jason in a while. A lot of news there this hour of our show, brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. They are very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. All the cars test driven, checked out bumper to bumper, head to toe, very thoroughly. Unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot, they'll go find the certain special car just for you. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales, where you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, no high-pressure sales, but they care about your time. And they want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. They know we live in a world today where time, it really matters. That's why you find the car you want, test drive that car, credit approved, paperwork completed. You're out of there in your new car in 45 minutes or less, in time to do it this afternoon and not even be sweating. At DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
We bring on Jason Munns from the CA covering Memphis basketball at Munsley on Twitter. Jason, what's happening, man?
Gentlemen, it is just so good to hear y'all's voice.
Yeah, it's been a while. What have you been up
Good to
to?
hear
Any
yours.
good vacations? Any updates? Any life updates?
Nope, none of the above.
That's the best news, isn't it?
I guess. I don't know.
Don't rock the boat, Jason.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I might have taken a few days off. I got some days off coming up next month, and then some more in August and September. The big one is in September. That's when we're going to Gulf Shores for a little while.
Nice.
Hopefully we can, try not to try to get down there every year, but not while it's like super hot.
I'm going to ruin it for you now. That's when we get IARP news. As soon as you hit town.
Why? Come on.
Well, that's what they make laptops for. Laptops
Yeah,
and
right.
phones.
That's right.
Just hope that hurricane season's
Yeah.
not too bad.
I think you'd be able to check that out though before you made the drive.
What's your projection on IARP?
I think it's not. I don't think it's going to be great for Memphis. It's not like they're not going to get off scot-free. But I also think that whatever happens will be something that most of the university, the institution, athletic department will be able to live with. That's just kind of in conversations that I'm having and, just different things that I'm hearing. I get the sense that it's certainly not what Memphis wants, but when you consider, and this is just me talking again, it's just my impression, when you consider, the ramifications and how serious they sounded at the outset. It feels like they're going to be manageable.
Now, the impossible question to answer. What timetable are we looking at realistically? And I know, you never know in these things, especially when you're dealing with the NCAA. But do you think there will be a relatively decision soon, or do you think this could be after next basketball season or into that off season?
No. I actually talked to, it was about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. I talked to a source who's as close as you can get to this process, who, gave me their gut feeling. Because, of course, nobody, you don't know. Neither side knows timeline stuff.
Right.
This stuff can get dragged out, as we've seen, and some of the reporting that we've done before. But I think the expectation is for this to be resolved before the end of the summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be before next season starts. It's going to be relatively soon. We're almost in July.
I sign up for that. I sign up for that, Jason, because I really believe this. If the Tigers can get through with not the heaviest hand from the NCAA, and maybe even be eligible for a postseason next year. That was a couple of maybes in there.
Sure.
Get through this, have fun with this basketball season, and I think it will be. And then Penny Hardaway, his career flourishes with the Tigers, and the next great chapter of Tiger basketball gets written.
Yeah, they got a lot of momentum coming off of the run they had in February and March earlier this year, and I obviously, again, disclaimer time. Nobody can predict the future. We don't know if they're going to get a postseason ban. We don't know that they're not going to get a postseason ban. But if you pay attention to some of if you kind of are, like I said, paying attention to the climate,
right,
as it sort of morphs over time, it's just looking less and less like it would just be surprising more than not surprising if Memphis was going to get, the players themselves were going to get punished for the postseason ban. It's just the direction that things are moving. They're trying to get away from punishing people who didn't have anything to do with, the infractions in question. And so that's why I think, at least the odds are better that the program, that the on-court, representatives of the program aren't going to feel the heat as much as probably the off-court representatives.
All right, negativity behind us. Positivity today. Keontae Kennedy commits to Memphis, and this honestly adds to this core. Emmanuel Acott, DeAndre Williams, Kendrick Davis, and now Keontae Kennedy coming from UTEP, 14 points a game, looks to sort of step into that Lester Quinones role. What do you think about this core, and what do you think about sort of the rebounding job that Penny Hardaway's done this offseason?
I think it's fantastic, honestly. When you think about – what's that?
I love this team.
Yeah, it's. I think you've gotten a lot older, a lot more experienced. You're adding pieces. Like, you're not adding all 5 stars or all 4 stars. Like, you're adding pieces, and you're supplementing, what you've already got. They've got, Chandler Lawson, Jonathan Lawson, DeAndre Williams, all these guys that are coming back. Like, they're being a lot more strategic about what they're adding, and I think that's going to serve them well. Elijah McCadden was the first one in the boat. He's a role player, and he knows that. And that's not necessarily been the type of guy that Penny Hardaway has gone after. He's going to be a 6th-year senior. Penny's gone after his first 4 years. He's gone after super young guys and guys who believe that they should be starting every game, playing every minute. And So, that was a pretty clear signal across the bow that he is changing his approach. He goes out and gets Kendrick Davis, arguably the best point guard that he's had since he's been here. I mean, you could make the argument for Jeremiah Martin. Nothing against Jeremiah Martin. Fantastic senior year. But when you put the two careers together, I think Kendrick Davis has probably had the better overall career, and he's still got a year to go. So, and then he goes out and gets the 6'10" KO is what they call him, the big 6'10" guy who can jump pretty much, who can
touch the top of the
backboard. Yeah, he can hurdle it, I think.
Yeah.
I've seen videos where he's done that. So, that's an interesting piece. Emmanuel Acott, 6'8", can pretty much play 1 through 4. I think he's more of the Lester. I think Keontae Kennedy, if you're doing comparisons, I think Keontae Kennedy's more akin to the Landers-Nolly role. He probably doesn't shoot the 3 quite as well. I know he definitely defends a lot better than Landers, but I think outside of the obvious size difference, Emmanuel Acott's 3 inches taller than Lester Quinones. Those are two guys who are just super versatile, who are max effort, high energy guys, who both shoot 3 pretty well. So I think it's a really, really good job by Penny Hardaway.
So the one thing, and I posed this question earlier, and I think I know what direction it is, but do you think this type of recruiting he's doing, going in and getting these experienced guys, going and taking advantage of the transfer portal, do you think it's more out of necessity with that black cloud of the IARP over him, or do you think it's him learning through his career what has succeeded in his program and what hasn't?
Well, I'll tell you this. If it's got anything to do with the IARP hovering menacingly over the program, I don't know if you can say that, just because I know for a fact that some of the guys they've gone after in the transfer portal have asked about it as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know for sure that that's been that they missed on somebody strictly because of that, but I'm not. What I'm saying is I don't think that Penny had, was out there trying to recruit a bunch of high school stars,
right?
And they were all saying, "Nah, we'd rather not. There's an investigation going on. We don't want to be a part of that."
But when you're talking about 1 or 2 years versus, if you're going to recruit high school guys, and obviously he's gotten some one and done guys, so that it's different there. But when you talk about guys that may be in your program for 2, 3, 4 years, maybe they would view it differently than some of these transfers that are really counting on 1 year at the University of Memphis.
Yeah, I mean, I can say this with a reasonable amount of certainty that Penny Hardaway, when he came out, I think it was on his coach's show, back in January or February, was the first time he said publicly that he was altering his approach.
Right.
I think that was, I'm reasonably certain that he was coming from a place of just being frustrated with the way the season was going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just wasn't working. 2 years before that, he signed the number 1 recruiting class. Too many guys, too many egos, too many parents. And then last year we cannot forget that it was about as bad as it could possibly be. It's playing out in real time in front of our eyes, where Penny was talking about a tug of war in the locker room, and some of the players were even talking about how bad it was getting. Penny was talking to whoever would listen about it, local and national media included. So I think he genuinely got to the point where he was just over it. He was like, I am sick of this, entitlement. I think he even used that word, entitlement. And this is his way of getting around that. And then on top of it, I think he was getting tired every week of his 18 and 19-year-olds. He said that famously in the tirade interview after the SMU loss at home. He was getting tired of his 17, 18, 19-year-old guys getting pushed around and sort of manhandled by 22, 23, 24-year-olds. This is his way. This is his solution, and I think looks pretty good to me.
It does to us as well, Jason. And these older guys you talked about knowing their roles, They come in and know their role on opening night and on December 1st and on January 1st instead of trying to figure out roles on February 20th when the clock is ticking. Now, the Tigers got it figured out. That comeback and that 1-point win at Tulsa. I mean, it'll go down as one of the biggest wins ever for the Tigers to pull that out this year. But they got it figured. They got it figured out late. Let's figure this thing out early because that's when you craft your net and your RPI and your national standing.
Yeah, here's the deal. If they had figured it out this past season sooner, they're not an 11 seed or whatever they were, 9 seed or whatever they were in the NCAA tournament, and they're not playing Gonzaga in Portland in the second round. Just not happening. And so I think they saw that as well. I'm sure that factored into the strategy, this new recruiting strategy, that we have to get off to better starts. We have to find guys. Kendrick Davis is coming in. He knows what he is. The coaching staff knows what he is. The team knows what he is. Elijah McCadden, same way. Ko Ekabundu Ehioku, I think is how you say it. He knows what he is. Malcolm Dandridge knows what he is. Chandler Lawson. I mean, like, the list goes on. DeAndre knows exactly who he is, and everybody else does too. And I think that's going to your point, Brett, I think that's going to, at least that's the plan for that to pay big dividends and hopefully get them off to a better start so that they're not having to play the number 1 overall seed practically in their own backyard in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
So the one thing that the Tigers have gotten used to is having a good big man on the team in the Penny Hardaway era. Obviously, James Wiseman didn't work out, but you had Precious Achiuwa. You thought Musa Cisse would be better, but he was always at least solid. You could put him at the 5. Last year, Jalen Duren. This year, you have questions about the 5. I mean, Kendrick Davis, Williams, Acott, Kennedy, all, I think, 1 through 4, you're solid there. If you had to bet right now, what do you think happens with is there any tricks up his sleeve to get a big man, or who do you think ends up slotted as that starting 5 by the time the season gets here?
I do have it on pretty good authority that they are still in the market for a big. Now, I don't know that they've necessarily identified anybody specific just yet, but I don't think that they're done at least trying to find one. If they don't, then my gut tells me that Malcolm Dandridge is probably your starter. And that's not like the worst thing in the world. I mean, yes, he's inconsistent. Yes, he has shown in the past that he struggles at times with endurance, shall we say, stamina. It's tough for him to play long stretches of games. And so, that's a concern. But when he's right and he's good and he's bought in, he's not too bad. Like, he's pretty darn good. And then you've got Ko. I think he is going to be, definitely a defensive specialist who I don't think that he's coming in here expecting to play huge minutes. I would, as we sit here today, I think you're looking at probably a pretty even split between those two in terms of minutes game to game. And I mean, it's definitely not Jalen Duren. It's not James Wiseman or Precious Achiuwa or anything like that. But I want to, I feel like, you've kind of sort of flip-flop. Like, the past few years, you've had great big men, but you haven't had a great point guard necessarily. Well, now you got a great point guard. So, it all kind of evens out in the wash, and hopefully you're better for it because, you're better at the top, and hopefully it'll take some pressure off those guys.
Haven't caught up with you on the staff. Frank Haith gets hired. What do you think about that hire in general? And what else do you expect to happen? Do you think Larry Brown takes a step down role? And who do you think could potentially be in the running for those spots?
I think hiring Frank Haith was about as shrewd and smart and clever a move as any that Penny Hardaway has made. And that includes Larry Brown and Rasheed Wallace and Mike Miller. well, I don't know. We'll see. Mike Miller was pretty shrewd. Like that guy could really recruit, and by all accounts, was really, really good X's and O's wise. But no, Frank Haith. I mean, you're talking about a guy who was a national coach of the year type guy when he was at Missouri. I mean, like he has almost 2 decades of head coaching experience. He's got more than 2 decades of assistant coaching experience at a very high level. He coached at Texas as an assistant under Rick Barnes, I should point out. Interestingly enough, he was an assistant at Wake Forest, at Texas A&M, at Penn State. Like this guy's been places and done things that it can only help this program. I mean, Larry Brown, for all he's done, I mean, the man is a legend. Don't get me wrong. Like, he is a living legend, but he had been out of college basketball for a few years, and had never been an assistant outside of maybe one season back in the 60s. I think that this is a really good move.
And Larry's 81 too. That's another thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That whole thing.
Aside from Frank Haith, I expect, Penny keeps saying, or at least he keeps referencing the fact that maybe, that Larry's he's definitely gonna be back, but it may just be in a different role. He even mentioned specifically possibly the special assistant to the head coach title, which was held by Sean Forrest last season. I mean, if that's going to be the case, I think Sean Forrest probably, I mean, like the logical thing is that's a guy with more than 2 decades of assistant coach experience at the Division I level. You could do a lot worse than him. I mean, and the truth of it is, Sean Forrest is the biggest reason why Kendrick Davis is here. He was Sean Forrest was an assistant at SMU when Kendrick Davis was being recruited there. I want to say they were together for a year, even at SMU maybe. But Sean Forrest really got that one. He was sort of the clincher on that deal. So I've heard other names potentially for the staff. I raised last year when Penny had some openings. I put some names out there, including Faraji Phillips. I think that he is definitely a candidate for sure. And then we'll see. We'll see after that. I mean, that would pretty much do it, right? If you got Frank Haith and Sean Forrest and Faraji Phillips, that would pretty much do it.
I really think though, and this was my take on the situation. I think as far as assistant coaching hires that he's made, I think Frank Haith's the best one he's had. And that's not to take away from the other hires he's made, but Frank Haith has been around this game for a long time and honestly had his experience showed against Penny in a lot of those matchups at Tulsa. I know it didn't end well for him at Tulsa, but it's hard to get it done at Tulsa. But I tend to think that Frank Haith being hired is the best one he's made so far. But Jason, always appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
You have a good
Thank you, Jason. Great to catch up with Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal on a lot of subject matter. The Tigers with this great offseason that they're having, and it'll be time to get to FedEx Forum soon. This weekend, any location for Jason's Deli. At Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. Try one of those strawberry shortcakes. Promise you'll love it, and especially on a hot summer afternoon, it tastes even better. All the salads, all the soups, all the cheeses, the breads, the spreads, also good. The salads, I love the taco salad, the chicken club salad, the Mesa chicken salad, the Big Chef salad, and then that salad bar, the great salad bar, over 30 items just on that salad bar for you to prepare it however you'd like. Catering anytime, anywhere from 5 to 5,000. At Jason's Deli, trans fat free food, all about choice. Regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, you will be delighted. And build your own sandwich with that. Invent your own sandwich. You'll love that at Jason's Deli. All the organic food to choose from. And if you're in any of these locations, Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova, wrap it up with a complimentary free ice cream. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Still a few things to get to on the show before we wrap it up. for the week. We got about 30 minutes left. AutoZone listener lines 901-360-8255. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Text us questions, comments, concerns. Also message us on our social, Sports56 WHBQ, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But when we come back, we have to get to what's trending. And what's trending, we have to talk about Arch Manning committing to Texas. Also have some NFL news and notes to get to right here on Sports Time with Gabe and Stats.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56, WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I'm ready to get my Kia on. What's happening over on Mount Moriah at Gossett Kia South?
Hey, I know the car business is crazy right now, but we got them on the lot ready to ride. I've got a 2022 Kia Forte LXS 210 a month, 2022 Kia Soul LX 223 a month, both 36-month lease and $27.99 due at signing. Plus 2022 Kia Sorento LX 315, 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing.
And Jeff, your Kias are always equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia, Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com. All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Forte, $89, $89, $848, MSRP $20,770. Sold in $78, $68, $67, MSRP $20,880. Sorrento, NG $128, $223, MSRP $31,980. Must finance through Kia plus tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/5/22. Dealer stock only. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Spring has sprung at Dan West Garden Center with blooming annuals and perennials, trees and shrubs everywhere. It's important to keep your yard and garden healthy, so Dan West has a very knowledgeable staff to help landscaping to grass to garden care and create your dream garden. Dan West has beautiful flowers from perennials to blooming annuals, garden lovers, even heirloom tomatoes, and a wide selection of herbs. You name it, Dan West has it. With over 100 years experience, Dan West enjoys sharing gardening tips and taking your growing needs to the next level. Dan West, with 2 locations, 12061 Highway 64 in Eads and 4763 Poplar. Open 7 days a week. Make gardening fun and easy at Dan West Garden Center.
Mayor Jim Strickland and the Memphis Office of Youth Services present the Mid-South Golden Gloves Regional Boxing Tournament, June 24th and 25th at the Pipkin Building, 940 Early Maxwell. For ticket information, call 901-636-6264.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios. Grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers. Everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
Want to lose money in real estate? Try selling your own home. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Benstorff Realtors, also known as Mr. Three-Putt or the worst golfer in town. I've had numerous clients think they could sell their own home and eventually called me. To me, it's not a for sale by owner, it's a for sale by donor. When we went to the closing table and made more money than they ever thought they could make and not have to worry about letting unqualified strangers into their home, they couldn't have been happier to let someone else handle the transaction from start to finish. So if you want to watch someone play golf poorly, call me. And if you want to sell your home, remember to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but please include me. I have a highly successful strategic marketing program. And find out why people often say, when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten, 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Thank you.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
You drove it, you love it. What more do you need to know?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Last 30 minutes, Sportstime on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. I'm Gabe, he is Stats. We approach the weekend quickly, and I know what I do on the weekend. I chow down. I eat a lot of food on the weekend. I know that there are other people out there like me. So let me send you in the right direction. We have a lot of barbecue in town, but there's one place that does it better than anybody else. That's Central Barbecue. Open daily, and there's 4 locations. Midtown, Central Avenue, Central Barbecue. You do the math there. It's the original location. It has fantastic food. Downtown by the Civil Rights Museum, one on Summer, and the one you can pop in and see me at, the one on Poplar. Brand new, state-of-the-art, really good patio. They have turf laid down. They have fans out there. I know it gets hot, but they will cool you down as well as they can. Now, as far as the menu is concerned, you guys know at this point, sausage and cheese plate's fantastic. You can get the wings, smoked, grill, whatever you want to get as far as starters, they have that for you. But your main plate, chicken, brisket, turkey, pulled pork, every meat you could possibly imagine, you can get at Central Barbecue, and smoke is their sauce. So you know that smoky flavor's going to hit you and be fantastic. And as far as sending that barbecue anywhere, you got to send it in the U.S. You said that's an extended family that doesn't get this type of barbecue all the time. EatCBQ.com, click on that shipping tab. Again, EatCBQ.com, click on that shipping tab. And if you want to get catering around town, 15 or more people for a lunch or a dinner, call this number, 901-527-9990, 901-527-9990. But those locations open daily. Midtown on Central Avenue, downtown by the Civil Rights Museum, Summer, and the one you can pop in and see me at. And also order delivery at eatcbq.com. Poplar, Central Barbecue Smoke, is their sauce. Now, I know we discussed this a lot with Bruce Marshall, and more or less a smattering of Steve Sarkisian. It's happened over the years, though. It happens. He has a history. But Arch Manning commits to Texas, and he chooses Texas over Georgia and Alabama, where he took official visits. I knew that this was a possibility the whole time, Brett. I really did. But to see him actually go through with it and commit there was a surprise to me, because I don't know if Texas, and I know the NIL era can help them, but I don't know if Texas, especially joining the SEC in a couple years, being with Steve Sarkisian, I don't know how well they're going to do as a football team in the coming years. They were 5-7 a year ago, and they've been on a decline. So
had a big win over Rice last year, though.
And lost to Kansas. I'm a little confused with the decision, but it's his decision to make in the end of the day.
Certainly, no question about that. Sure, want him to have injury-free, great college experience.
Absolutely.
But he is being asked to turn the Titanic around at Texas.
Yes,
because if Sark and Arch don't work, you know what the Texas path they're on? They're on the Nebraska path.
Yeah. Now, I do think in the NIL era they can do more. They can do more than Nebraska. Now, they have been.
It's always been the NIL era at Austin.
That's true. They have been on the precipice, supposedly, of being back every single year since Colt McCoy left, and it's never gotten to those heights. And I just don't get going there and being alongside Quinn Ewers, who's another 5-star prospect, who's the big blonde mullet guy who really has his persona,
blonde mullet guy.
But his persona has taken off on a life of its own, and to have both those guys in the same quarterback room. I put out a tweet yesterday, and I was talking about how Quinn Ewers basically his mindset's going to change now that Arch Manning is in that room. And, people are sending me back all these things. Oh, well, he's the one who showed him around. He's the one who brought him on campus and made him commit to Texas. He was the one who brought him around on official visits. Yes, it's one thing to talk about, hey, I'm okay with competition. I embrace competition. It's one thing to say that. It's one thing to actually get to that first week of the season and be in the second row of the quarterback room. So I compared to Georgia, who doesn't really have a plan at quarterback going forward after Stetson Bennett, I was confused by that level of it too. I know Arch Manning probably thinks, okay, whatever quarterback room I'm stepping into, I'm going to win the job. But it's easier said than done when you have another 5-star who's hungry to get that position.
And I think it was big for Texas to step up and offer, according to most recruiting services, a 3-star tight end to his friend and high school teammate at Newman. I think that factored in. I think about everybody else would have made that same deal to drag him along. High hard one on a Friday afternoon. You ready?
Yeah, let's rock.
Bryant, you weigh in as well. Traditional senior night. 4 years, or after playing 4 years on the field. Arch Manning has it at Texas. It's gone swimmingly. It's gone well. He could be their first Heisman Trophy winning quarterback ever at Texas. They've had two running backs. They've had Earl Campbell and they've had Ricky Williams. Is Steve Sarkisian the coach at his senior day?
Whew. So twofold to this. If it makes it 4 years and he's still there and he's the starter and they're successful, I don't think Steve Sarkisian's the guy. But also, I don't think if everything goes swimmingly for Arch Manning, I don't see him as a 4-year guy. I think this is a guy who could potentially be out in 3 if everything goes swimmingly because of think about what he is viewed as right now. If he can recreate and get that Texas team to a 8-4, 9-3 record, maybe they join the SEC by the time he's done. I don't see any reason that NFL, especially NFL, front office members, especially with his last name, would not want him to come out after 3. Now that's his decision in the end of the day. But Arch Manning, the talent is uncanny and it's undeniable.
Brian?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I think, if all goes well, if he comes in and is a successful quarterback, I don't think Steve Sarkisian's going to get a better offer. And if they can kind of turn this around with him and bring some other pieces in, why not? Sure.
That's a high hard one that I think is impossible.
Yeah,
really
that's a good high hard one.
That's why they're high and hard.
Yeah, I get that. And who's saying that if Steve Sarkisian's out after a year, he doesn't decide, hey, I'm going to go to Georgia and go commit to Kirby? It's so open. The one-time transfer rule's there. He can get NIL money wherever he wants to go, and I think also the one thing that I did kind of favor Texas over Georgia for is offensively. Georgia, while I think they may mold if Arch would have gone, they probably would have molded the offense to fit him a little better. But they have a boring offense, and if you're Arch Manning, you want to be able to be the guy and toss the ball around a little bit. And Georgia has not shown that that's exactly what they want to do year in, year out.
No, they haven't, and we're talking with Bruce Marshall about in the illustrious history of Texas football, just how very few quarterbacks it's been.
But Vince Young blocks out the sun, doesn't he? But Vince 5-star one, but 5-star number 1 in the nation, and he was just crazy good. For me.
And he cashed it in that national championship year. And Colt McCoy was good, got him to a national championship game against Bama. And Arch is going to wear number 16 at Texas. James Street wore 16, winning it all for him in 1969. And a lot of people think that's some type of tribute to Peyton wearing 16 at Tennessee. From what I understand, he wears 16 because his favorite player is Trevor Lawrence.
I'm still confused. After this ultimate commitment to Texas, I am confused why Ole Miss was not in the conversation at all. I know when you look at Lane Kiffin and I don't know, Peyton has the tie with Tennessee, Lane and Tennessee didn't end well, so maybe there was something there. But after seeing the commitment to Texas, I don't know why, from a quarterback perspective, Ole Miss was off the table completely.
I mean,
Eli went there.
Look at the treatment that Matt Corral got from throwing for 91 yards in his opening game as a college player to really people questioning how was this guy a whatever star, 4 or 5-star, to how it ended for him. I mean, now a lot of that, some of that, not a lot of it, some of that was Jeff Lebby, but a lot of it was Lane Kiffin, and Charlie Weiss has that same offensive pedigree. And
I've seen Lane run offenses plenty well by himself. Okay, like, yes, it was Jeff Lebby, and yes, he gave him the keys to the thing, but I've seen Lane coach some pretty damn good offensive football.
But Jeff Lebby wasn't around for Philip Sims at Alabama.
Right. Exactly. So, again, Philip Sims. You mean Blake?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Blake Sims.
I got him confused.
I love Blake Sims. He could run that.
I love
thing,
Blake
too.
Sims.
But yeah, I
think I went the old Virginia quarterback, Philip Sims, didn't I?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
You went Phil Sims. That's what.
Yeah,
you
I
went.
did. That guy who had a son. It was a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, he was.
Chris Sims was. He was. I think he should be. We probably. I probably unfairly omitted him.
It's weird that Ole Miss was not even really in the picture in this whole thing. Now on to the NFL. Josina Anderson put out a report yesterday, and Jeremy Fowler followed up on it from ESPN. But Josina Anderson reported the Seahawks still remain interested in Baker Mayfield. Now, on face value, that was the team that we said all along, Brett. I like that fit. I think that makes more sense than the Panthers ever did. But Jeremy Fowler follows it up this morning by saying the Seahawks only have any interest in Baker. The only interest they'd have is if he's released. So I still sit here. We talked about this about 2 weeks ago, but 2 weeks later, I sit here on this Baker Mayfield subject and say we're trying to force a market to be there that I don't think is there for a trade. I just don't think anybody really wants Baker right now. And you can't force it. I think there should be. I think Baker is being unfairly cast as a terrible quarterback when I don't think he's a terrible quarterback by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, he's not.
But $19 million for a year rental, I don't think anybody's willing to do.
I mean, why would they?
Yeah, and I do think that if he's released, robust market. Like if they're starting from ground zero and they can rework their own contract, the market will be huge. But for $19 million, even if it's a year and you can get that contract off the books, no way, no chance.
Okay, I asked the High Hardwick. May I ask another High Hardwick? I mean, it's almost not fair.
All right, let's hear it. Come on.
I didn't
hit me with it
real quickly because I know we're close on time. You shocked after everything last night? Dylan Brooks still a member of the Grizzlies?
Am I shocked?
Yes.
No. I always, and I said this too, and we talked about it at the beginning of the show.
That wasn't even that high or hard.
I always thought that DeAnthony Melton was going to be the trade piece moved during the draft.
Yeah, especially after the swoon down the stretch.
Because people talk about, and Grizzlies fans may have thought that the value was lowered through the playoffs, but around the league, DeAnthony Melton at 24 years old with what he can do, you knew the value was going to be there and somebody would bite. Now let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day and of the week. When we come back, Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Bellyacre's motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. Two great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday 11A to 9P, Friday and Saturday 11A to 10P. Regalia Sunday through Thursday 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Dare Ya or the Double Dare Ya, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Bellyacres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Bellyacres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Bellyacres.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the Callaway Trade-In Trade-Up event happening now through July 4th. Bring in any of your old clubs and receive a 50% trade-in bonus towards new Rogue ST Woods and Irons and Apex Irons. Both the Rogue and Apex families are designed with artificial intelligence for faster ball speeds. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get your 50% bonus trade-in on Callaway Rogue ST and Apex Irons today. And while you're there, get custom fit for free. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home with a 90-day satisfaction guarantee. key.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
At Vanelli's Deli, new summer menu items: roast beef sandwich, Italian chef salad, or my favorite is the chicken breast salad. Gigantic bowl of lettuce, black olives, grated cheese, sliced mushrooms, green peppers, diced chicken breast, with ranch dressing, yum. And ask about Vanelli's Deli catering, family or corporate. Call today and ask for Charles at 901-754-2246.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
This is a damn fine automobile, if you want my honest opinion.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
What I learned today, and I've brought it up a couple times on the show, but Kevin Durant to Memphis is insane to me. I would love to see it happen. It would be massive, and I wish it does. I really hope it does. But to see what the next team he could potentially join, if not the Nets, the odds again: the Heat 5-2, Grizzlies 4-1. Following them, Hawks at 9-2, Phoenix Suns 5-1, Clippers at 11-2. If he ends up moving this offseason, biggest NBA news of the season. Also, very quickly, we had Rookie of the Year odds. You guys want to hear these?
Yes.
Where would you place your money on NBA Rookie of the Year? Paolo Banchero, 3-1. Jabari Smith, 7-2. Chet Holmgren, 11-2. Jaden Ivey, 15-2. Keegan Murray, 9-1. And then Ben Mathurin, 12-1. Where you got him? Jalen Duren all the way at 33-1. You think Jalen Duren has a shot?
I'd put $10 on Jalen Duren.
A.J.
like
Griffin,
330.
33-1.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't like any of the long shots here. Jeremy Sohan, Shaden Sharp, Jalen Williams. I guess Shaden Sharp would be.
We'll be making Rookie of the Year picks in October.
Yeah. Ochai Agbaji at 16. We like
MOP
that?
of the Final Four.
Hey.
I don't dislike it.
Hey. I think Paolo, though, at 3-1. 3-1's fair.
I learned today how much I enjoyed Kendrick Perkins last night. I thought he was so good on draft coverage, able to show his knowledge and be entertaining and not have to have some bogus get-up argument where he takes up and the other side takes down and they have a food fight for Greeny to giggle about it.
I also learned today there's too many Kendrick Perkins haters out there. Way too many Kendrick Perkins haters out there. He moves the needle. His conversation points, what he does day to day is fantastic work, whether you want it to be or not. It's just the truth.
And I think in a fun manner.
Right. What I could have done without the Yankees. You know that rich team that's in New York?
Yeah, I know them.
Them and Aaron Judge. They agree to a 1-year, $19 million deal for 2022. They avoid arbitration, which they were about to get to. I think the Yankees wanted $17 million. He wanted $21 million. They split the difference, got to 19 for this year. He leads the MLB with 27 home runs, finished off last night with a walk-off single. He plays for the richest team in baseball. It's embarrassing for the Yankees to have drugged their feet on an Aaron Judge contract. In the offseason, he did reject a $213.5 million deal. But let's be honest, Aaron Judge needs to get paid on the same level as some of the league's best. Mike Trout. It needs to start with a 3. It needs to start with a 3. So Buster Olney has said as much too. Give him $300 million. Move on with your lives, Yankees. I promise you can afford it.
Gabe, you know when the Yankee season starts, don't you?
When?
October 1st. That's what they're judged by every year. That's part of it since the 1920s. Could have done without. Arkansas was averaging 9 runs a game in the NCAA tournament and couldn't get a leadoff runner on in 9 innings yesterday. And it just leaves their fans thinking, when, why, how come? DeLucia controlled them, and now wait till next year for Arkansas's baseball program, a proud program. Not so sure that they might not have been the best team in Omaha, but that thing's the hardest thing in all of college sports to win.
That Arkansas feeling, it's got to that unfulfilled feeling has to be creeping in. It has to.
It does.
I mean, you can't avoid it. Being there on the precipice so many times, a pop-up away from potentially winning it.
Florida State leads that in college baseball, but Arkansas is right there.
Yes.
State got it off them last year.
But the whole point is you don't want to be at Florida State's level. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be Florida State. So don't all the Arkansas fans in the audience listening to us are probably saying, keep that out of your mouth. Don't you wish that evil upon us. I mean, I would not want to be in that conversation. Now, as far as what we're watching tonight and over the weekend, we have the College World Series. But tonight, Lightning Avs, Game 5, ready to see a potential closeout. Avs minus 200 on the money line to figure this out and win.
Could get Lord Stanley's Cup tonight. Only one team can.
Yep.
I love the gloves guy, the handler of the cup. They're so careful with it, and then over the next 2 weeks, there's no telling where it'll be.
Yeah, I need to hear I need more stories. Stanley Cup stories are always the greatest.
College World Series final starts tomorrow night. Ole Miss and OU. Last time they met in basketball, Kermit Davis's first year at Ole Miss, OU won by 23 last time, and only time they've played in football. Ole Miss beat Big Game Bob 27-25. Classic weekend in Major League Baseball. Listen to these matchups. Cubbies, Cardinals, Astros, Yankees, Dodgers, Braves, Red Sox, Cleveland, Jays, and Brewers. Great baseball weekend ahead.
I am keeping a close eye on that Dodgers and Braves series, though. The Braves, this June has been unreal for them. I don't even have the record. It was 17-3 last time I tallied it. I think it's something like that, but they've been unbelievable. That'll do it for today and the week. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Alan Bell, Bruce Marshall, Brad Logan, and Jason Munns for their contributions to today's program. For Brett, for Brian, I'm Gabe. Enjoy your night, your weekend, and be safe. We'll holler at you Monday.
13 platinum records, over 65 million albums sold worldwide. This is Poison. Brett, Bobby, Cece, Ricky. The original lineup returns.
Sunday, July 3rd, center stage at Silver Star Casino. Tickets on sale now. Visit PearlRiverResort.com.
Don't miss the party of the year. Poison World Tour 2022.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant